National Council of GEM, Mr. Pankaj Kasture, Executive General Manager from Lead Consultancy, and Mr. Harshal Parikh from Indian Plumbing Association. I would also request Mr. Gautam Nagar, Senior Advisor, Global Building Performance Network, to please take the seat on the stage. Panchamrit for Climate Change, Youth Outreach Program, initiated by Climate Change Department, Government of Gujarat, in collaboration with Education Department of Government of Gujarat. A series of events on awareness of climate change is taking place since 17 September. 17 September, the initial day that was inaugurated by our Honorable Prime Minister. The program for youth awareness on climate change is organized in about more than 1,000 colleges, I would say, and a lot of awareness amongst the youth on climate change is being created by conducting the different program on different aspects at different places. And the objective of the Climate Change Department is to sensitize the youth about the adaptation and mitigation of the climate change. That is the need of the day, I would say. So we have with us Sri B.H. Talati Sahib. He is Joint Secretary, Climate Change Department. I would request Sir to deliver inaugural address, please.
Good evening. I heartily welcome you all for this workshop on green building and energy conservation building code, acknowledging the due importance of global climate concerns. Gujarat government, under the visionary leadership of then Chief Minister and presently our beloved Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi, established Asia's first sub-national department dedicated to climate change in 2009. I would take this opportunity to welcome our chief guest, Sri Pankaj Dharkar sir, and other all respected dignitaries, Sri Jayesh Haryani ji, and other dignitaries, and all assembled youth eagerly waiting for this session, not only over here, but through my 2,380 colleges, which are also today connected for this program through a YouTube live. The main purpose of celebrating this fortnight, which we have given the name Panchamrit, Youth Outreach Fortnight, this fortnight will be celebrated in more than 1,000 colleges simultaneously across the state. The youth will be engaged by organization of the various seminars, competitions, such as slogan writing, essay writing, group discussions, drawing competitions. Today is our discussion topic, particularly green building and energy conservation building code, is very critical to Gujarat's sustainable development, because growth is there, but we don't want only development, we want a sustainable development. And for that, the state has approximately, when we have a 45% of the population is living in the urban area. So inclusivity along with the sustainability, that is the mantra for development in today's world, and that we want to retain. Accounting for more than 40% of the country's total energy consumption, energy use from the buildings is increasing at generally 8% annually. So every year 8% increase is there in the building energy consumption pattern. If convenient, inefficient building practices we continue like this, then building would account for over 70%, 70% of emissions by 2050. And so it poses a major threat, particularly to India's green emissions. There are about presently, if we count, 7,600 registered projects and 8.818 billion square foot of the green building footprint presently in India. At the rural level also, PM Awas Yojana and Eco-Niwas Sanhita, green housing scheme, together, if they can work together, they can give a huge boost to the green residential building sector in the country. India took an important step forward in June, this June, by launching the revised Energy Building Conservation Code 2017. Presently it is updated in 2021. And this code basically developed by the Ministry of Power in central government and Bureau of Energy Efficiency. The code prescribes generally energy performance standards for a new commercial building to reduce the energy consumption and promote the low carbon growth. It sets parameters for builders, architects, designers to integrate the renewable energy sources in building design with a goal of achieving at least 50% reduction in energy use by 2030. Because we have a Panchamrit goal, there is also one of our goal is to reduce carbon emission and to increase our renewable energy sources and simultaneously reduce the carbon footprint. These all are our Panchamrit goals, and to align with that goal, if we want to achieve a 50% reduction in energy, then this code is very crucial. Generally, we can say building, if you construct with a low energy consumption, particularly, then 17 to 42% reduction in consumption of the power can be achieved if we can alter the design and use the green components in the building. At the state level, several state governments have promised. They are also working towards this. Everybody has given the different kind of incentives to promote this green building criteria. Particularly if you see Andhra Pradesh, government offers a 25% subsidy on the total fixed capital investment of green project component, obtaining a green rating from the IGBC. Similarly, as per the economic survey of the 2019-20, India require investment of US 1.4 trillion in infrastructure space up to the 2024-25. So in addition to government support, the banks can also play here a very crucial role in facilitating investment for the green buildings. Suppose Karnataka government, they are also proposing the things where they recently proposed to provide a series of incentives, particularly reduction in property tax, reduction in stamp duty for building the projects which have green standards and green elements, following similar policies by the Andhra Pradesh, Punjab, West Bengal, Sikkim and Haryana. Banks can also link loan interest rate with the green rating of the buildings. They can also offer construction loan with a lower interest rate to incentivize the developers. And to verify performance and ensure the quality, India can come up with a subsidized insurance model also. But to do all these things, you require a very stable code, which is a ECBC. And if we can go further after the ECBC, then there is a green building code. And we have to work toward them. Generally, when we are designing the ECBC and we are working toward there as a policy matter, then we have to follow the three concerns and issues which may be resolved for widespread acceptance and adoption of the green buildings. First is the general approach is generally there, okay, we build wrongly and then fit it into the green futures. For instance, glass envelope buildings are there. We certified them green simply because they installed double or triple insulating glass. There are a 5-star category air conditioners, and so they make the cool places. But ultimately they are heating up more. So this kind of a practice, at least we have to take care and we should not propagate. Secondly, rating systems are also being posed through government or municipal schemes. Then we also have to keep in mind the evidence if these green certified buildings are actually working or not. Or there is just for a sake of we are giving them the ratings. That is also one of the things, because if we give them very diligently, then that rating will be getting the popularity among the people and they can get the authenticity. And then after the follow, all these schemes of the promotion with the link with the loans and other things. And third and last, this so-called green technology end up hiking cost to such an extent, because green building is sometimes it's a fancy word. So all kind of without any proof, if we are inking with the glass ceiling, inking with the other things, and hiking the project price, then definitely builder will not come, because ultimately builder will pass the money to the bucks to the ultimately end consumer. But surprisingly, I can say, within the 3 to 4 years, I have seen, talk with the IGBC, talk with the leads, talk with the other peoples who are working in this field, there are a low cost housing is there, which is actually low cost, but simultaneously it is a, they have a certain very good elements of the green building. So it is possible, keeping in mind to reduce the cost or to make a cost certain up to the permissible limit down, still we can make such a elements in the building construction which can prove them the green building. As you know, Gujarat is the first in entire country with the 3.52 lakhs solar rooftop building with the Surya Gujarat scheme. It is immensely popular in Gujarat. This is also one component of the green building, because in your building, when you are a net, with the help of the net zero meter, if you put up a solar panels and you use that power, definitely your meter will become a zero. And if this propagate up to the people, particularly with the Gujarati people, okay, this scheme, Surya Gujarat scheme, if you invest in this scheme, then they will give you a minimum return of the more than 30%, 30. Then I think people will come forward, because even one of the best mutual fund investment also never give you a guarantee of more than 12 or 15%. While Surya Gujarat scheme, which is the flagship of the JEDA, we are working in tandem with the energy and petroleum, the EPD, our department. This department have actually propagated this scheme. And this scheme, when you are putting this solar rooftop on your building, it will give you a minimum return on your investment is more than 30%. So we can say, if there are a green building elements, that is not always a very costly, it is always a cost effective, and that will give you a more return on your money. So finally, I want to say, the government of Gujarat at the highest level of the administration, aspiring to build a sustainable, climate resilient future, encompassing a low carbon pathway. For us, low carbon pathway is one of the most important word in our all day working. For Gujarat's economic growth, that would fulfill the expectation of our people. Our father of the nation, Mahatma Gandhi once said, the path is the goal. He never compromised on his path to attain the goals. Getting inspiration from his thoughts and actions, let the nation choose the sustainable path to attain our big dreams. We all have to contribute and continue to deliver the growth and energy security to our citizens, while ensuring the transition to a net zero and green economy will define our collective success in the global fight against the climate change. With all, I take your permission. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Talati sir, for giving the overview about the program on green building and energy conservation building code. This program is a collective effort of Gujarat Energy Development Agency, IGBC, SOCAM, CREDI Ahmedabad Chapter, ISHRE, Mahila Housing, and Indian Plumbing Association. We are remembering here the Principal Secretary S.J. Haidar sir and Talati sir under the continuous guidance of the Climate Change Department. The JEDA, Gujarat Energy Development Agency, is working for promotion of renewable energy. We are nodal agency of Ministry of New and Renewable Energy. We are also state designated agency of Bureau of Energy Efficiency. And you all must be aware about the Energy Conservation Act 2001. Our students and youth over here, if not aware, please go through the Energy Conservation Act 2001, where Energy Conservation Building Code is mandatory for all the state to notify. And Gujarat is in process of notifying this Energy Conservation Building Code. I would request Talati sir, before going for this technical session, request Joint Secretary Talati sir to welcome Mr. Pankaj Dharkar, Chairman, National Council of GEM. I would request Shwetal Bhai to welcome Jayesh Haryani ji, Co-Chair, IGBC, Ahmedabad. I would request Mr. H.S. Silajia, Senior Project Executive, Gujarat Energy Development Agency, to welcome Pankaj Kasturi Sahib, Executive General Manager, Lead Consultancy and Engineering Services Private Limited. I would request Namrata to welcome Mr. Gautam Nagar, Senior Advisor, Global Building Performance Network. I would request Neha to welcome Mr. Harshal Parikh, Vice Chairman, Indian Plumbing Association, Ahmedabad Chapter. I would again request Namrata to welcome Bharti Ben from Mahila Housing Trust, the NGO working for habitat development, ગરીબો અને શ્રમજીવીને લગતી સુવિધા તથા ક્લાઇમેટ ચેન્જમાં ટકી રહેવાની ક્ષમતા માટેની એકમાત્ર એજન્સી. Thank you all. I would also request Namrata to welcome Mr. Sneh Shah, Secretary, ISHRE, Ahmedabad. Now, we are going for technical session. I would like to invite Mr. Jayesh Haryani ji, Co-Chair, IGBC Ahmedabad. Mr. Haryani has served the building and design industries for over 25 years. He is specializing in business strategy, combining urban design, architecture, and real estate development. He has obtained Master of Architect from the Cyprus University of USA and MBA from Katz School of Business University of Pittsburgh. Mr. Haryani ji, please.
बंद कर दो. Namaskar. Good evening. Welcome to all of you. First of all, thank you, Thalatiji. We have opportunity to go into many events, especially talking about the environment, sustainability. Over past 15, 18 years, I have been involved in one or the other way across India. There are not that many events which are initiated by government leadership, government department to drive these in the forefront. So I personally am very excited and glad that now we have a real movement. We have been trying over and over again as professionals, as a consultants, as a industry conglomerates, but coming from government adds the engine in front of all of us. So really appreciate that now the wind is blowing in the right direction for all of us to do it in more meaningful and at rapid pace, which we need as a team to work together. So appreciate the putting the agenda on the top priority and bringing all of us under the government leadership to push this agenda further in a rapid scale and pace. Few things. I think all of us have seen the video clips of Panchamrut announcement by our Honorable Prime Minister and the 5 bullet points that how we can really make this happen, which is impossible, a real reality working together. So part of that Panchamrut initiative, this is one of the event that, as Talati sir said, that his goal is to reach out every young mind in the state as much as he can and as fast as he can. And today's event really shows at least more than 50% seats are filled, which I think is a very good beginning in a very short span. I think 2 days before, I think this was announced. And in 2 days to at least fill more than 50% of a real interested, genuine people who care about this particular initiative. So I appreciate all of you spending your time and evening with us. So my focus is initiative that has been done nationally and spearheaded by CII IGBC. There are many similar organizations which does work in collaborative and individual way to promote the sustainable development across the country. And what I'm going to focus on the IGBC and IGBC's focus and areas of contributing in this journey. So as you can see the agenda about CII, I think most of us would know, I'm assuming, what CII does and represents a legacy organization over 125 years plus working across the nation, bringing all of the industry and industry stakeholders, driving the change, positive change across the country, and operates in a unique model which is a center of excellencies. 9 centers have been established across country by CII, working with all industrial leaders and even involving all other stakeholders, including government organizations and policy change. One of the Center of Excellencies is CII IGBC. The photo that you see is the IGBC's HQ office. Since inception, 2001, IGBC staff is operating there. It was first certified platinum project to demonstrate in the country, and since then the journey has begun in partnership. It's a unique PPP model which has been very successful to initiate the change in responsible development and green development. Especially the excellence for energy, green buildings, environment, and climate change. These are the focus areas that this particular center of excellence is focused. Okay, same building, as new things come up, new commitments have to be made, new technologies and new way of doing things has to be introduced. So today, the same platinum building that was demonstrating 20 years back is now net zero, upgraded just 2 years back. So it's a lab, live lab, where you first taste model, like Thalatiji said that, okay, putting 2-layer glass or 1-layer glass building, and then we say, okay, certify the building. Doesn't help the cause. So really going back, demonstrate, pilot things, measure, and then promote in a more framework, which is more rating systems that are developed for India. As I said, 2001, it was initiated, a vision of IGBC. At that point, and even today, is relevant, enable sustainable built environment for all. All is important. It's not a luxury. Even affordable housing sector should be able to commit to the green certification and green way of developing. So that is very important. India to be one of the global leaders in sustainable built environment by 2025. And ये जर्नी में 20,000 से अभी 8.3 billion over past 20 years have been achieved, which is the second largest footprint globally. तो वो कमिटमेंट हैं, अभी जो टारगेट हैं वो 10 billion हैं, एंड एवरीबडी इज जॉइनिंग दिस मूवमेंट. जैसे ये करना होगा तो एक मूवमेंट बनानी पड़ेगी, जैसे फ्रीडम में सत्याग्रह की मूवमेंट थी, राइट? तभी ये काम हो सकता है कि इसको मूवमेंट बनाना पड़ेगा, सबको साथ में ले जाना पड़ेगा, तभी हम गोल अचीव कर पाएंगे. नाउ वी टॉक अबाउट सस्टेनेबिलिटी. अभी सस्टेनेबिलिटी तो हमारे वैल्यू सिस्टम में तो था ही डे वन से, क्योंकि हमारा जो संस्कृति है वो तो पहले से उस हिसाब से ही चल रहा था कि स्पिरिचुअलिटी, सस्टेनेबिलिटी वो सब इंटरट्वाइंड हैं. तो वो कॉन्सेप्ट, दिस इज समथिंग दैट इज वेरी यूनिक द वे आई सी इट. क्या होता है सस्टेनेबिलिटी? हो सकता है किसी भी चीज़ को सस्टेन करना लाइफ टाइम विदाउट हार्मिंग एनवायरमेंट पॉसिबल है बाय अ ह्यूमन रेस. अगर कोई बोलता है कि हाँ हम कर रहे हैं, गलत बोल रहा है. इट इज जस्ट लिमिटेड नॉलेज दैट समबडी स्पीकिंग दैट या वो हो सकता है. ओनली नेचर कैन डू दैट, बिकॉज इट्स अ लॉ ऑफ ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन. वन एनर्जी दूसरे एनर्जी में ट्रांसफर होती है एंड इट सर्कल्स इन अ फुल साइकिल. बराबर है. बट हम जो कर रहे हैं, वी हैव टू फोकस ऑन लिमिटिंग द डैमेज ऑफ द एनवायरनमेंट. बराबर है. लिमिटिंग यूज ऑफ रिसोर्सेस. तो टू एग्जिस्ट इन हार्मनी, जो नेचर में अपने आप होता है, वो कॉन्सेप्ट को हम फ्रेमवर्क में लाने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं थ्रू रेटिंग सिस्टम एंड अदर फ्रेमवर्क्स, राइट? उसका एक्सपीरियंस क्या हो सकता है सस्टेनेबिलिटी को प्रैक्टिस करने का? वापिस जाता हूं. माइंडफुलनेस इज अ की. कॉन्शियसनेस, अंदर का आवाज कि मैं कर रहा हूं, सही कर रहा हूं, गलत कर रहा हूं. माइंडफुलनेस होनी चाहिए while we design, while we execute, while we demolish, and so forth. Spirituality में भी वही है. A deep sense of mindfulness, awareness, interconnectedness, कि भाई एक जगह से मैं लेता हूँ तो दूसरे जगह नेगेटिव इम्पैक्ट आता है. तो वो जो हैं कि अवेयरनेस ऑफ द नेचर, मदर नेचर, संस्कृति जिसको बोलते हैं, प्रकृति जिसको बोलते हैं, दैट कॉन्सेप्ट इज देयर फ्रॉम डे वन इन आवर रिलीजन्स एंड इन आवर वैल्यू सिस्टम्स. वो सब वापस लाते हैं. तो इफ़ आई हैव टू शो द डायग्राम, बिकॉज आई एम एन आर्किटेक्ट एंड प्लानर, टेक्स्ट से अच्छा मेरे को ड्रॉ करना अच्छा लगता है. सो इफ़ आई पुट दिस सस्टेनेबिलिटी एंड स्पिरिचुअलिटी इन द कॉन्टेक्स्ट, तो दोनों में इट्स अ प्रोसेस ऑफ सीकिंग डीपर मीनिंग इन लाइफ, इन डेवलपमेंट दैट यू क्रिएट. उससे क्या होता है, यू स्टार्ट बिकमिंग मोर अवेयर. वो जो इनर बीइंग को जब कॉल देते हो ना, तो आपका कनेक्शन बदल जाता है चीज़ों के साथ. कि इन स्पिरिचुअलिटी यू बिकम अवेयर ऑफ बॉडी, माइंड, इमोशंस, एनर्जी अराउंड यू, other people around you, society, and so forth. Same way, sustainability mein you become aware while designing a project, executing a project, वगैरह, about what is the context, what is the noise pollution, what is the vegetation, am I creating negative impact on a social, cultural, economic, and national resources aspect. So becoming aware when you start questioning. कनेक्ट विथ बिग. जब आप वो सीकिंग से अवेयर होते हो, देन यू स्टार्ट लुकिंग बियॉन्ड योर सेल्फ, राइट. सो यू कनेक्ट विथ बिगर पिक्चर. दोनों में ये होता है, बराबर है. इन द स्पिरिचुअलिटी यू स्टार्ट कनेक्टिंग वॉट एवर यू बिलीव इन, वेदर इट्स गॉड, नेचर, यूनिवर्स वगैरह. सेम वे you start connecting with community, urban system, city governance, and policies, and influence the ecosystem and the policies. And experience is real transformation, whether it's spirituality. Once you start practicing more and more, your transformation is inevitable in both journeys, that you start changing yourself and whoever becomes in your contact, and your sense of responsibility starts spreading in a wider way. तो ये कॉन्सेप्ट हैं that becoming a mindful in terms of when we design, build or manufacture, use of resource to meet our needs without depriving the resource for the future generation. ठीक है, ये डेफिनेशन आप सब ने पढ़ी होगी. इट्स नो नथिंग न्यू. तो उसको आगे ले जाते हैं कि कैसे करें ग्रीन बिल्डिंग, कैसे करें, और द ग्रीन एंड बिल्ड एनवायरनमेंट. तो अ ग्रीन बिल्डिंग इज वन विच केयर्स, बराबर है, केयर फॉर नेचुरल रिसोर्सेज. सो यू स्टार्ट थिंकिंग अबाउट हाउ टू यूज रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी, हाउ टू कंजर्व, केयर फॉर वाटर, राइट. यू स्टार्ट थिंकिंग अबाउट कि कैसे मैं बचाऊँ, कैसे रिसाइकल करूँ, वगैरह वगैरह. ऑप्टिमाइज योर एनर्जी एफिशिएंसी. सिमिलर वे यू स्टार्ट थिंकिंग अबाउट दोज थिंग्स. जनरेट लेस वेस्ट एंड स्टार्ट थिंकिंग अबाउट कैसे मैं उसको रिसाइकल कर सकता हूँ, सर्कुलर इकोनॉमी में ला सकता हूँ, एंड प्रोवाइड हेल्थ एंड वेल बीइंग फॉर द यूजर्स. बराबर है. तो दैट्स what it is about developing, designing green built environment. अभी क्वेश्चन ये आता है कि हाँ, ये फोटो में तो सब सेम दिखता है, ग्रीन बोलो कि नहीं ग्रीन बोलो, ठीक है, बोथ लुक सिमिलर, उसका यूज भी सिमिलर है. कि नॉन ग्रीन बिल्डिंग हो या तो ग्रीन बिल्डिंग हो, सर्टिफिकेट मिला हो नहीं मिला हो, बाहर से तो ऐसा ही सिमिलर दिखता है. बट व्हेन यू डीप डाइव इनटू लुकिंग इनटू द डेटा ऑफ दोस certified projects, you start seeing a pattern. Operational saving from life cycle cost savings, conserve less resources, conserve natural resources, human comfort, productivity, better indoor quality, etc. etc. ऐसा ही से नया कॉन्सेप्ट नहीं है अपने लिए, हुआ ही है सेंचुरी से. ये सब कर ही रहे थे, बराबर है। अभी उसको साइंटिफिक वे से फ्रेमवर्क करके आज के कॉन्टेक्स्ट में उसको आगे ले जाना है, बराबर है। जो अपने बात कर रहे हैं पंच महाभूतास, बराबर है, उसको अगर हम फ्रेमवर्क में डालें तो पृथ्वी, अर्थ, साइट सिलेक्शन एंड प्लानिंग, लोकल एंड रिसाइकलेबल मटेरियल, जल, already we talked about water conservation, agni, energy efficiency, vayu, talk about CO2 emission, air quality, indoor air environmental quality, etc., आकाश, daylight, night sky pollution वगैरह वगैरह। तो उसको फ्रेमवर्क में कैसे डाला जाता है। बेनिफिट्स की बात करें, जस्ट बेनिफिट्स दो तरीके के होते हैं, वन यू कैन मेजर, द अदर इज समथिंग विच इज सॉफ्टर, यू कैंट मेजर। टेंजिबल की बात करें तो नंबर स्पीक फॉर इट सेल्फ। बिल्डिंग बाहर से, लाइक दिस इज द प्लेटिनम रेटेड ITC इन बेंगलोर, बिल्डिंग सर्टिफाइड हो कि नहीं हो बाहर से तो पता नहीं चलेगा ऐसे, बट व्हेन यू लुक एट द डेटा ऑफ दैट बिल्डिंग, एनर्जी सेविंग की रेंज जो है, वाटर सेविंग की जो रेंज है, एंड कॉस्ट ऑफ एनुअल ओनरशिप अक्रॉस द लाइफ टाइम इज डिफरेंट। सिमिलरली डेटा रियली टेल्स अ स्टोरी एंड दैट्स व्हाट हेल्प्स यू टू इम्प्रूव, ठीक है। तो बेनिफिट की ये 3 सर्वे करी इनिशियली, विप्रो का एक प्रोजेक्ट, ITC का एक प्रोजेक्ट एंड GBC जो पहला, सबसे पहला 20 साल बनाया उसका। नॉर्मल बिल्डिंग सेम साइज का हो तो कितना इलेक्ट्रिसिटी यूज़ करता होगा, और बाय गोइंग इन द फ्रेमवर्क while designing, executing and managing and operating, क्या होता है, reduction in energy consumption and actual in rupees terms। तो आप सर्वे के हिसाब से देख सकते हैं कि what are the real datas। Similarly, intangible benefits, environmental benefits जो है, जो अभी हम मेजर करने की बात करें, जो अभी गाइडलाइंस इवॉल्व हो रही हैं अक्रॉस द ग्लोब कि हाउ डू यू रियली मेजर इंटेंजिबल थिंग्स, उसकी तो हम एडिशनल बेनिफिट्स हैं ही, हेल्थ एंड सेफ्टी, बिकॉज ऑफ दैट द प्रोडक्टिविटी एनहांसमेंट एट्सेट्रा इज आर द इंटेंजिबल। तो इंटेंजिबल की बात करें तो कि एनवायरमेंटल बेनिफिट्स क्या है, उसका क्या कंट्रीब्यूशन है। रिड्यूस ग्रीन हाउस गैस एमिशंस, जो हमारा टारगेट है कि 50% हमको रिडक्शन करना है एज पर पंचामृत मिशन। फ्यूअर मटेरियल एंड रिसाइक्लेबल मटेरियल्स, एनर्जी सेविंग, वाटर सेविंग, देन द लाइफ सेफ्टी एंड occupants benefits, then talking about the enhancing the regulatory framework by documenting things and social impact due to that, and healthier and happier nation। Similarly, built industry की बात करें, developer, similar tangible and intangible benefits are listed, and more government reforms and policies are encouraging in terms of giving some or the other incentives, and you can see the states on the list which are already giving one or the other way in incentives and subsidies for going that way for developers. Similarly, green funding opportunities are available, so you can avail those. And in terms of the users, which are the direct beneficiary in terms of going green, that your energy bill, your water consumption, all that will be reducing. You will see the less sick days and other better environment around you, in terms of the garbage management and green aspects. So framework जो IGBC ने over the last 18 years बनाया है, there are a lot of references available, but Indian context के हिसाब से constantly उसको introduce करना, framework में डालना, in all categories, whether it's a commercial category, building or built environment, residential के लिए भी है framework in terms of a transit, also built environment in terms of a larger project, whether it's a city level development, green cities, smart cities, green campuses, etc., educational campuses, industrial and health and well-being. All these categories have been covered and constantly updated and tracked to be current on a regular basis as a framework. जहाँ तक example अगर मैं दूँ, like these 6 frameworks, rating systems that I personally am chairing, उसका अगर impact देखेंगे आप, तो for example green campuses, अभी तक 85+ million square feet certified है, उसका जो contribution आप देख सकते हो. Similarly green cities, green villages, etc., सब में contribution जो because of the framework is happening. And it is also designed in synchronized with SDG 17, which is the United Nations goals. And which are the 9 goals have been addressed by these particular 30 some rating systems. And also it works with the national, international codes and standards, as you can see, and the framework in terms of mandatory requirements which are highlighted in each of the ratings to start the process, and then the credit system, so it affords the flexibility based on your goals and your budget कि आप कितने level पे commit करना चाहते हो to develop a green project. 4 तरह के measures में आप उसको commit कर सकते हो. जो पहला है वो certification standard. If you commit to the range of 40 to 50 points, and as you go further, the highest is platinum level certification, and you have to really have a higher level commitment to achieve that goal. Do they cost more? Right? लगता ऐसे हैं कि भाई they cost more. तो ये उसका डेटा है कि 2003 में वो 18% एडिशनल कॉस्ट लगती थी, जो आज about 1 to 2% लग रही है. I mean, these are real data that tells you whether they cost more and how much. Similarly, products, technologies, जो waterless urinal 2003 में 15,000 का मिल रहा था, वो आज 5,000 का मिल रहा है. So pressure on green products, green technology, improving their performance and reducing their cost is happening parallelly. This is operating cost की बात करें. This is just Ahmedabad, 3 buildings that you may know कि 2001 वाला जो बिल्डिंग था उसमें 6.35% का डिफरेंस था, जो आज 2021 में 1% का है. So some real data we are projecting. These are the data received from SEBI. They are part of the IGBC team framework, and they are sharing the data which are more transparent. So again, I can go on. I have 5 more slides. I'm getting second reminders, so we'll take 1 more minutes to get this data, because these are the very important data. What green building do differently? Demand in terms of energy, right? You can see the number. In terms of air conditioning, per ton कितना आप खींच सकते हो by proper way of designing and executing. Similarly, lighting technologies के per square feet कितने watt का वो कर रहे हो. Water, similarly, reduction in terms of your water usage. And these are the data that we constantly as IGBC collect and really use to promote awareness of a green development. Similarly, the transformation in the environment and roof gardens and urban environment. तो अगर आप देखेंगे एनर्जी 15 बिलियन यूनिट्स कितना सेविंग हुआ है बाय द सर्टिफाइड प्रोजेक्ट, उसके कंपैरिजन में दैट सेविंग कैन लाइट अप 41 मिलियन विलेज हाउस होल्ड, नॉट अ स्मॉल नंबर. सिमिलरली वाटर 46 बिलियन लीटर्स पर एनम, हैदराबाद साइज का सिटी का 2 मंथ का वो सेविंग है. Similarly, CO2, 12 million tons, 14 million cars can be off the road equally. So, benefits तो बात की in terms of tangible, occupants के भी benefit होते हैं जो I already talked about, the productivity, better life, better air quality, daylighting, etc. etc. So वो मैं detail में नहीं जा रहा हूँ. Plumbing में भी technologies, fixtures, वो सब improve हो रहे हैं. In terms of material and systems, more and more development is happening and more research and data is being available. And even operational side in terms of housekeeping and operationals में भी वो कर रहे हैं. And the another last thing is that India is building a nation, new nation, and lot of professionals are needed. So certifying, training and certifying the green professional is also happening at rapid pace by IGBC and all other few organizations that are working together. And to sum it up, it's a real opportunity that we have while we are building a new nation, and we should not really miss this bus to do it right. Benefits speaks itself, so I don't need to talk about it. एक चीज़ ज़रूरी है कि when we talk cost, we always talk first cost, which is the wrong way to start. Talk what is my life ownership cost, and then do the analysis and then take the decisions. You will never go wrong, right? So concept बदलना होगा. Cost आज की बात में नहीं. अगर बिल्डिंग की लाइफ 50 साल है तो 50 साल में मेरी कॉस्ट ऑफ ओनरशिप क्या है पर स्क्वायर फीट, उस हिसाब से थिंकिंग बदलना पड़ेगा, राइट? देन एनवायरमेंटल रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी उससे आप अपने आप आ जाएगी. लास्ट बट नॉट लीस्ट, इट विल लीड टू स्पिरिचुअल एंड सस्टेनेबल लाइफस्टाइल. दिस इज प्राइसलेस. ओके, सो आई एनकरेज ऑल ऑफ यू to do your bit, and all by that is there while it is making businesses, because saving is already there. Thank you all.
Thank you so much, sir, for elaborating on a very, very important subject of the green building and sustainability, as well as to update the audience about the Center of Excellence, IGBC Hyderabad Center, and now it is upgraded to net zero also. So the next speaker is Mr. Pankaj R. Dharkar. He is the chairman of National Council of CHEM, and he would speak about simplifying green building for a larger reach. Sir, Dharkar sir, please. We have a short of time, so 15 minutes is the time for presentation.
By everything is done. Good evening. I want more energy from young people. Good evening. Good. That was nice. So first of all, let me congratulate the entire team of GEDA under the leadership of Mr. Haidarji, Talatiji, Shwetalji, Namitaji for conducting such a wonderful event. As Jayesh Bhai said, I have been organizing event for last 40 years, but never seen an initiative from government and getting together, every one of us together. So thank you and congratulations to you, sir. Of course, I am really delighted to see Mr. Dangai ji, my guru, and many other senior members from ISHRE who have gathered here. So thank you so much. We have some eminent speakers coming up. And a lot of people ask me, of course, when I started this initiative in country for Ashocam Gem, I was also executive board member like Jayesh ji of on IGBC, and then of course my guru Dr. Prem Jain, who started this initiative. I took his blessings and started this initiative only with the intention, because 22 years since we started this initiative in 2000, 2001, and when we started, we are most, by the way, we are kid here, we are most infant member in green building certification. We have just completed 3.5 years. But when we started this initiation, we had only 5,500 buildings, which we saw just now 8,000 plus buildings which are certified. And to me, when we have to build 70% of country by 2030 is a very, very shameful number, because to me this is something which always bothered me, that why we have to sell green building concept when we were always sustainable in our lifetime. Why India has to go to USGBC to seek advices when we have such stalwart architects and engineering fraternity available in this country. So that is the reason why we thought that we have to create this huge awareness in the nation, and we thought that through 4.5 lakhs members of Ashocam, why not create this and why not add this agenda, so that we complement good work which is being done by CII, IGBC. Of course, there are many other parties like TERI doing with Graha certification, and that is where we stand now. So friends, according to Architecture 2030, I think the built environment generates about 50% of annual global CO2 emission, and of this total emission, the building operations constitute nearly 27%, and which is, while the building material and construction comprises more than 20% annual. Now this is huge number, particularly for a developing nation like India, when we are constantly talking that 70% to be built. So I think there is a constant pressure on India, and we have to go green. I think we have no option, as our Prime Minister himself has narrated. So according to World Green Building Congress, the global green building segment has potential to reduce energy consumption by 50% or more by 2050, and we all know what is the country's mission set by Honorable Prime Minister by 2070. So adding on, though the incorporating direct measures in buildings such as use of renewable resources, energy efficiency, and using green fuel, the emission saving potential is as much as 84 gigatons of CO2 by 2050. These are staggering numbers, and this is something young generation has to see what this build engineering environments offers them. I think my objective to come here with these youngsters here was to make them aware this is a huge field. We all are only running towards IT and IoT businesses, but this is an area which you should look at it, because this is something which is going to offer new generation a huge business opportunities, job opportunities, and don't miss out this. This is something which you need to study as you move forward. In current prevailing scenario and of rising uncertainties of climate change, as it is worth optimizing a built environment in the way forward towards sustainable future. Hence, global green building building material market size is likely to be 511.2 billion mark by 2030. And when this material comes, the kind of construction which will happen, you can imagine for youngster, what kind of potential it gives you. So here, real estate being the second largest segment after agriculture, the green building concept has huge potential in India. And in his recent year, there has been big surge in demand for green spaces, not only in commercial scenario, but also in residential segment. Jayeshji has shown some beautiful examples of our own Ahmedabad, where things are really catching up now. And according to poll conducted by Square Yards, about 64% of the home buyers were willing to pay extra for sustainable features. And this trend is also setting up in India. So total worth of green building market in India has increased substantially, reaching to 20,983 million in 2021 as per international studies which are happening. So as Jayesh also said, buildings play a major role in CO2 emission. Emissions are likely to get doubled. Sustainable buildings have huge potential effect on environment. Sustainable building design is about building the future. A comprehensive approach to select and integrate design, planning, product and processes is important, and they provide balanced optimal ecosystem to the residents. 2017 ECBC had brought a lot of changes. Incidentally, when I was ISHRE national president, and 2006 and 2007 saw the initiation of first code, and I was by coincidentally part of that initial process where ISHRE being the air conditioning society and being consumer of more than 50 to 60% of energy, I was automatically part of this process. So I have seen how this code has developed right from the conceptual stages from 2005 to 6 to 7 when it got published, and 2017 I think one of my colleagues is going to present it, so I am not going to talk about it. But this is one of the fantastic development which I think our engineers and architects are giving to the world. So this is fantastic document, and I think you as youngsters must study this document completely. So GEM Sustainability Certification Programs aims to address sustainability of given development through its life cycle. We always talk about life cycle cost analysis because building primary cost could be anything, but I think they are built for 50 years and plus. So it is very important that our life cycle cost has to be at minimum. The fourth pillar we consider save energy, targeting energy conservation through improved design envelope. And as Talati Saab made a statement that making merely glazed building and then applying energy efficient equipment is no solution. I think we have to get into the basics of architecture where you design a energy efficient envelope, looking at the orientation of sun path analysis and several factors, and then give further energy efficient equipment. Probably that is the way how you will reach the net zero approach. So basically GEM certification program is completely based on ECBC 2017, and we have captured very important principles from ECBC code, where principle 5 talks about propagating passive design strategies. Principle 8 talks about high albedo materials for roof and non-roof areas. Principle 10 talks about low flow fixtures. Of course, my friend again is going to speak about water, so I'm not putting emphasis there. But principle 13 talks about measurement of energy and water consumption. And at Ashocham GEM, we do believe that this country has never produced data for the buildings. So with that sole incentive, we have put up a monitoring station where all certified buildings, we are measuring the energy, water and indoor air quality on constant basis, which is going to generate a data for next generation to do the research work. We also are doing and connecting this, our command center to central command center for fire signals, and we do believe that any building which has to be energy efficient, consume less water and have very good indoor air quality should also be safe and secure to live it. So this is the only global certification program which emphasizes on this. We are talking about Principle 24, where efficient electric equipment systems, Principle 25, use of imperishable energy resources, and 26 on optimal use of natural lights. So simplifying green building is important, because we don't want the certification goes to a complex level where you are getting into huge documentation work. We want to keep it very simple so that engineer and architect can do it very easily. So he should be able to optimize design on environmental aspect, lean construction, resource conservation, energy saving, solid waste management, water and wastewater management, and enhance quality of living inside. So friends, we are constantly upgrading our standards, and as we are moving forward, and I said that we are very, very infant, just 3.5 years, but even during COVID time, we have been constantly upgrading it, and specifically for applications like green railway stations and various aspects, we have been constantly doing this work. We do believe that ECBC 2017 and NBC 2016 are two wonderful documents which Indian architects and engineers have given not only to the country, but I keep telling world that these are some beautiful documents which are suitable for the world. Our programs talked about sustainability, energy and water management, daylight, indoor air quality, fresh air, more green areas, human comfort, and as I said earlier, fire and life safety also. We do believe that any green building should not be costing more. As Jayesh Bhai put it rightly, earlier when it started, the cost difference was 18%. For last 7-8 years, it was between 2.5% for silver, or we call it Gem 3 equivalent. Gold, which was like 5% difference, and platinum, which was like 7.5%. It has come down now because there is a good awareness within the architectural and engineering fraternity about certification. But any retrofit work also done, because that is the area, because we are living in buildings which probably are not green buildings, but we have equipments to complement that. So ASSOCHAM, with the help of World Bank, created great awareness program on building management system, on air conditioning equipments, on electrical equipments, and there is a fund available, and we believe that through Bureau of Energy Efficiency, there is a program where the potential lies to 150,000 crores when current buildings can be retrofitted and made green. So we are also emphasizing here where the cost can be financed to the ESCO companies through the banks, and the owners don't have to put upfront the cost, and still the building gets converted into green certification. So we have talked about all these benefits, and we do believe that ASSOCHAM Green Building Certification encompasses a bucket of sustainability services. As I said, we have now more than 2,000 plus certifying professionals available, and huge number of projects which we have already certified. Our certification program runs on the yardstick scale of 0 to 135, GEM 1 being the lowest and GEM 5 being the highest. And currently you will see from several states, GEM is also certified as one of the certifying agency, may be Rajasthan, where the bylaws have this. Very recently, last month, Maharashtra state has also ratified with ASSOCHAM GEM. We are there in Kerala, we are there in the notices of Gujarat, Delhi state government, and several other states. We are also there with CRESIL, where GEM certification program is completely recognized. We are very proud that GEM is being continuously improving and to align the United Nations SDG 230 with GEM is first comprehensive rating system in the world to recognize sustainability and rather incorporating few components of it. There are 9 principles of these 17 goals which are already covered in our certification program. In 2000, last year, we had a big team which had gone to COP26 and we are very glad that this year COP27 we are going to have a very big delegate going to Sharm el-Sheikh in Egypt. We are very glad that some of the important projects of the nation, which includes at Gandhinagar, we have a beautiful railway station of Gandhinagar with a Leela Hotel, which is GEM certified, and you can see Prime Minister himself at Rani Kamlapati station, which is Habibganj station, old Habibganj station of Bhopal, which is GEM 5 certified. The Kartarpur Sahib project of Punjab, mingling with Pakistan, is GEM 5 certified, and several buildings, beautiful buildings across the nation are certified. We do believe that doing any certification should involve a lot of architectural fraternity, so we are working with Indian Institute of Architects, NIRI, the global. We do believe that the buildings which are commissioned as green buildings should be also maintained for their engineering services. So we have very special alignment with the Global Association of Corporate Services, which is which has 4,500 plus facility managers who are constantly getting educated from GEM certification program. TERE, the Policy Center for Net Zero, we are working with them, and of course ISHRE, ASHRE, we are very proudly associating NAREDCO, CREDAI, all the government boards. We are very proud that during COVID's time, we set ourselves a mission 100, wherein we reached out to 100 plus universities across the nation to educate our young minds, the architects and engineers of the nation. And we just completed on 15th of August. On this 15th of August, when country celebrated 75 years of our independence, we celebrated our 100th MOU with various universities. This is a breakup. We are present in 17 states, with Maharashtra topping that, and of course in Gujarat we have 7 universities with whom we are working. These numbers are going up, and we do believe that we do educate every 4th Saturday free of cost, and all of you youngsters can take these classes, and our online exam works 24/7. It is a 90-minute digital exam which you can give, and you can become a ASHOCHAM GEM AP. We did international conventions in recent time, and our 5th international convention is coming up in Lucknow, which Yogi ji have very gladly agreed to attend. And with that, I am also going to do a pleasant thing to introduce my friend Snehal Bhai, who is from ISHRE, very young, dynamic leader, who is going to talk about a very important initiative which ISHRE took up as a mission. I have Gaurav, our president, Shailendra Bhai, Amarjit Singh. A lot of you, can you just stand up, and Snehal Bhai, can you come here and explain what beautiful mission we have taken today?
Thank you so much, Dharkar sir. I would like to share details about 1 degree campaign. Please allow 1 minute. So first of all, I would like to thank entire GEDA team and climate change team for organizing such a wonderful program, and especially for youth. I'm very happy to see so much and so many youth members coming here. So I'm coming from ISHRE, and will share details about what is ISHRE and what is 1 degree. So 1 degree can change the world. So आप में से कोई बता सकता है कि 1 डिग्री अभी हम किसके बारे में बात करने जा रहे हैं? कुछ एनी गेस? यस, ओके. एयर कंडीशनिंग इधर से कुछ? यस सर, यस सर. सो बेसिकली दिस 1 डिग्री इज ऑल अबाउट योर एयर कंडीशनिंग टेम्परेचर. मुझे थोड़ा जानना है कि आप में से कितने लोग अपने एसी का टेम्परेचर 18, 20 या 22 डिग्री सेल्सियस का रखते हैं? मैम कितना? 20. पीछे से कोई? 18, 20? यस सर, 18. ग्रेट सर. बाकी इस साइड से कोई? 18, 20, 22, 21. ओके, सो ह्यूमन की जो रिक्वायरमेंट है, मतलब एक टेम्परेचर कितना कंफर्ट टेम्परेचर है, वो कोई एनी गेस? 27, 24, 25, 30, 31, ऐसा कुछ? ओके, ग्रेट. सो ह्यूमन का जो कंफर्ट है वो 24 डिग्री सेल्सियस है. सो आई विल शेयर ऑल द डिटेल्स अबाउट दिस कैंपेन. For before that, I would like to share about ISHRE. So ISHRE is Indian Society for Heating, Refrigerating and Air Conditioning Engineers. We are a non-profitable organization and a technical society कि जो knowledge sharing and leadership building and networking उसका main objective है. So total 45 chapters are there across the India, and Ahmedabad chapter is one of chapter of ISHRE. This is global outreach. So we have total 45 chapters. We are into Qatar, Nepal, Bangladesh, Singapore, UAE and Sri Lanka. So this is the main mission of ISHRE: protect environment, improve indoor air quality, help energy conservation, providing continued education to members and others in HVAC and related user industries, career guidance to students at colleges and tertiary institutions. This is the theme of Society Year 22-23, Prithvi, Paryavaran and Parivartan. Prithvi, our beautiful earth. Parivartan, this is, sorry, Paryavaran and Parivartan. So left side there is orange and red, and right side it is blue and white. So ये blue and white कैसे होगा वो हम आगे समझेंगे. So why 1 degree challenge? 1 डिग्री, जस्ट 1 डिग्री. गुजराती में वो कहावत है, टीपे टीपे सरोवर भरा है. यानी कि एक डिग्री बचाने से हम बहुत कुछ बेनिफिट कर सकते हैं अपनी पृथ्वी को, अपने पर्यावरण को और अपने आसपास के रहते हुए सभी जीव को. सो बेसिकली 1 डिग्री चैलेंज जो है, वाई डू वी नीड टू टेक अप दिस 1 डिग्री चैलेंज, उसके कुछ पॉइंट्स यहाँ पे मेंशन किए हुए. एनर्जी क्राइसिस इन इंडिया, आप में से काफ़ी लोगों ने देखा होगा पावर कट, कुछ स्टेट्स के अंदर पावर कट हुआ था. सो मेनली एनर्जी क्राइसिस, एनर्जी सेविंग, वॉलंटियर मूवमेंट, इफेक्ट्स ऑन हेल्थ ऑफ ऑक्यूपेंट्स, थर्मल शॉक्स, हीट आइलैंड, इफेक्ट ऑन ग्लोबल वार्मिंग एंड टू रिड्यूस कार्बन फुटप्रिंट. वाई 1 डिग्री चैलेंज? तो काफ़ी सारा आर्टिकल्स भी हमने देखा था कि 24 डिग्री सेल्सियस AC टेम्परेचर गाइडलाइंस इज फॉर वॉलंटियर एडॉप्शन, जो गवर्नमेंट ने अनाउंस किया था. Why Power Ministry wants to set your AC temperature at 24 degree Celsius? હા, સો રાજ્યમાં એક દિવસમાં રેકોર્ડ બ્રેક 21,000 મેગાવોટ વીજ વપરાશ. मतलब ઉનાળાની અંદર कोई पण बिल्डिंग ની અંદર ऑलमोस्ट 40, कोई भी बिल्डिंग के अंदर 40 to 45% लोड जो रहता है वो एयर कंडीशनिंग इक्विपमेंट्स लेते हैं. जबकि आप आपका एसी का टेम्परेचर 18 या 20 डिग्री सेल्सियस रखते हो, तब आप आपके एसी को एक टारगेट, एक गोल देते हो कि एम्बिएंट टेम्परेचर सपोज आपका 40 है तो आपको उसको 20 या 18 पे लाना है. सो दैट मीन्स कि आपका कंप्रेसर जो है वो कंटिन्यूअसली वर्क करता रहेगा जब तक वो 18 या 20 डिग्री नहीं आएगा. सो व्हेन यू गिव इट टू 24 डिग्री सेल्सियस, उसको थोड़ा गोल कम मिलेगा, यानी उसको 4 डिग्री कम मेहनत करना है. 4 डिग्री कम मेहनत करने से उसका जो पावर कंजप्शन जो अननेसेसरी यूज हो रहा है वो कम होगा. सो यहाँ पे जो 21,000 मेगावाट का जो वीज वपराश जो आ रहा है, उसमें से काफ़ी सारा जो लोड है वो एयर कंडीशनिंग का है. देन दिल्ली वॉर्न्स ऑफ पावर आउटेज फॉर मेट्रो हॉस्पिटल्स ड्यू टू कोल्ड स्टोरेज. बहुत ही सिंपल कंसेप्ट है, इतना बड़ा नहीं है, बट स्टिल वी नीड टू बी अवेयर अबाउट दिस. डेडली रिकॉर्ड ब्रेकिंग हीट वेव अक्रॉस इंडियन सबकॉन्टिनेंट, गवर्नमेंट इश्यूज अलर्ट एज टेम्परेचर में सरप्लस 50 डिग्री सेल्सियस. मैंने एक आर्टिकल पढ़ा था जिसमें नेक्स्ट 4 to 5 ईयर्स के अंदर अहमदाबाद विल बी वन ऑफ द सिटी के जहाँ पे टेम्परेचर 51 डिग्री सेल्सियस पहुँच सकता है अगर हमने क्लाइमेट चेंज के ऊपर काम नहीं किया तो. सो गवर्नमेंट ऑफ गुजरात ने क्लाइमेट चेंज एंड स्पेशली यूथ को इसके अंदर जो एसोसिएट किया है, रियली अप्रिशिएबल एफर्ट सर, के यूथ को डायरेक्शन की काफ़ी ज़रूर है जो गवर्नमेंट ऑफ गुजरात मिल के अभी कर रही है. The savings by 1 degree, so as per Energy and Resource Institute and Bureau of Energy Efficiency, setting temperature at 24 degrees Celsius instead of 18 degrees Celsius helps save 3,900 in a year. So 3,900 rupees एक साल में बचत हो सकती है. बहुत ही स्मॉल अमाउंट लगेगी एक साल के लिए, बट अगर वही अमाउंट हम 100,000 लैक्स ऑफ पीपल का अगर कैलकुलेट करते हैं, इट विल बी इन करोड्स. ये तो जस्ट सेविंग्स, इंडिविजुअल सेविंग्स है, बट व्हेन इट कम्स टू पावर प्लांट बहुत बड़ा ही कार्बन फुटप्रिंट जनरेट कर रहे हैं, जस्ट डिक्रीजिंग 1 डिग्री, लाइक 24 से 23 अगर करते हैं तो वो ज़्यादा ही पावर का यूजर्स होता है. एंड इफ द यूजर गोज वन स्टेप फर्दर, ही कैन सेव 6240 इन अ ईयर. Effects of excessively low temperature on health, constant fatigue, dry skin may enhance the effects of ongoing illness, inability to deal with natural heat, and thermal shocks. Migraines also. Heat island effect. So, किसी को हीट आइलैंड इफेक्ट के बारे में कुछ अंदाजा, कुछ गैस, कुछ बता सकते हैं कोई ऑडियंस में से? यस सर. राइट. सो बेसिकली आपने देखा होगा, सपोज इफ आई टॉक अबाउट अहमदाबाद, तो अहमदाबाद में नवरंगपुरा एंड प्रहलाद नगर दो अलग अलग एरिया है. सो नवरंगपुरा एरिया के अंदर आपको काफ़ी सारे ट्री मिलेंगे और ग्रीनरी मिलेगी. प्रहलाद नगर में कंपेयर टू नवरंगपुरा कम है. प्रहलाद नगर में ज़्यादा आपको कॉमर्शियल बिल्डिंग्स ज़्यादा दिखेगी, जहाँ पे आउटडोर यूनिट्स, आपको मल्टीपल आउटडोर यूनिट्स देखने को मिलेंगे, कि जिसकी वजह से जो भी आपके रूम की हीट जो रहती है, जो 18-20 डिग्री सेल्सियस रखने से कंप्रेसर कंटिन्यूअसली वर्क करता रहता है और जो गर्मी बाहर जाती है वो उससे ग्रीन हीट आइलैंड इफेक्ट जनरेट होती है. और कुछ कुछ एरिया आपको ज़्यादा हॉट मिलता है, कुछ एरिया में आपको इतना हीटिंग ज़्यादा नहीं मिलता है. So solution. So according to Bureau of Energy Efficiency, 1 degree raise in temperature setting of your AC can save up to 6% of electricity consumption as per BE. Overall potential for such power consumption measures is 20 billion units annually. If only 50% consumers adopt this, 10 billion unit saving will result in reduction of 8.2 million tons of carbon dioxide per year. सर की एक पीपीटी में अभी देखा था कि वो 12 मिलियन कार जितना कार्बन फुटप्रिंट निकालती है, उतना ग्रीन बिल्डिंग में अगर हम यूज़ करते हैं तो वो सेव होता है वहाँ से. सो सेम अगर 1 डिग्री खाली लाइक 24 डिग्री आप यूज़ करते हो तो उसको 25 डिग्री करना है. 1 डिग्री बढ़ाने से हम 8.2 मिलियन टन अप्रॉक्सीमेटली कार्बन फुटप्रिंट को बचा सकते हैं, जो हमारे आसपास अभी क्लाइमेट चेंज ज़बरदस्त आपको देखने को मिल रहा होगा. लास्ट सीजन में 48 डिग्री अहमदाबाद में पहुंच गया था. सो दैट कैन बी, सो 1 डिग्री रेज इज अ पेनी ऑन. ये हमारा हमने एक पूरा पैम्फलेट बनाया था जो आपको IAC 1 डिग्री चैलेंज, हमारा फेसबुक पे पेज है, ईश्रे अहमदाबाद चैप्टर ने पूरा इनिशिएटिव ड्राइव किया था. तो आपको 1 डिग्री हमारा जो पेज है IAC 1 डिग्री चैलेंज, वहाँ पे आपको सब कुछ 1 डिग्री के लिए डिटेल्स मिलेगी, क्या क्या बेनिफिट्स है वो भी मिलेंगे. सो 2019 में हमारे प्रेसिडेंट थे मिस्टर शैलेंद्र व्यास. आई एम प्रिविलेज कि हमें ऐसे प्रेसिडेंट मिले कि जिन्होंने यूथ को एक कंसेप्ट दिया 1 डिग्री का. हमारे साथ अनंत था, आशुतोष था, अदिति थे, हम 4 लोगों की टीम थी जिन्होंने मिलके, और भी काफ़ी सारे यूथ मेंबर्स हैं जिन्होंने मिलके पूरा 1 डिग्री कैंपेन स्टार्ट किया. पंकज धरकर सर के सपोर्ट से हम ग्लोबल लेवल तक पहुँचे. ईश्रे के 45 चैप्टर्स में 1 डिग्री अभी भी कैंपेन चल रहा है, जो हम काफ़ी सारे इंस्टीट्यूट्स में जा रहे हैं, काफ़ी सारे कॉलेजेस में जा रहे हैं, रेसिडेंशियल्स में जा रहे हैं, जहाँ पे हमारे स्टूडेंट चेयर जो थे हार्दिक शुक्ला सर, उनके सपोर्ट से हम काफ़ी सारे सोसाइटीज़ में गए. अलग अलग कंपनीज़ में जाके हम 1 डिग्री कैंपेन कर रहे हैं कि जिससे लोगों तक हम पहुँचे और जो एक छोटा सा सिंपल कंसेप्ट है हम लोगों को बताए. देन दीज आर द लीडर्स कमिटमेंट. जो नरेंद्र मोदी जो हमारे प्राइम मिनिस्टर है, उन्होंने एक पूरा कमिटमेंट दिया था, नेट जीरो इमिशन बाय 2070, जो धारकर सर ने अपने प्रेजेंटेशन में बताया. मिस्टर अमिताभ बच्चन इन 1 डिग्री चैलेंज. दिस इज आवर 1 डिग्री चैलेंज टीम. हमारे विजय पंचाल सर एडवोकेसी चेयर है, जो हमें हमेशा मोटिवेट करते रहते हैं 1 डिग्री के लिए और अलग अलग जगह पे जाने के लिए. सो ही इज़ ऑल्सो ऑन इन सेंटर. एंड डिफरेंट प्रोग्राम्स वी डिड, लाइक जय नारायण व्यास सर जो पास्ट कैबिनेट मिनिस्टर रह चुके हैं, और एनर्जी मिनिस्टर मिस्टर पटेल इज़ देयर. मेयर जो थे उस टाइम पे वो भी थे. जो एसोचेम जैम के प्रोग्राम में हमने किया था, अलग अलग कॉलेजेस के अंदर, अलग अलग ईशरे प्रोग्राम्स के अंदर हमने ये सब प्रोग्राम्स किए, उसके फोटोज़ है. दीज आर द रेसिडेंशियल एंड कॉलेज फोटोज़. दिस इंडियन मैप, जो भी हमारे 45 चैप्टर्स है, वो सभी प्रेसिडेंट्स ने इंडियन मैप के ऊपर 1 डिग्री का सिग्नेचर किया था, एंड दे शेयर देयर सपोर्ट. दिस आर फेसबुक पेज. hashtags and slogans, letter bread to letters breath, to me, to our Mother Earth, ISC 1 degree challenge, ISRE 1 degree challenge, think small, act big, 1 degree shift for climate change. These are the small, contribution we can do. Ton of vehicles at signals, switch off lights when not in use, stop wasting water while washing clothes, plant at least 1 tree in a year, stop wasting papers, delete unwanted emails. आपको आप में से काफ़ी लोगों को शायद पता भी होगा कि जो unnecessary मेल्स हमारे मेल के अंदर पड़े हुए रहते हैं उससे भी कार्बन फुटप्रिंट जनरेट होता है, बिकॉज वो सभी मेल जो है वो कहीं ना कहीं सर्वर में है और डेटा सेंटर्स का जो भी पावर कंजप्शन वहाँ से रहता है तो वो सब वहाँ से उसका unnecessary हमें डिलीट करना चाहिए. डोंट चार्ज मोबाइल एंटायर नाइट. So this is the pledge. So before going to pledge, एक छोटी सी स्टोरी कहना चाहूँगा जो I'll finish it. एक जंगल में एक बार आग लगी और सभी पक्षी और जानवर इधर उधर भागने लगे और वहाँ पे एक छोटी सी चिड़िया थी. वो चिड़िया ने देखा कि जंगल में ज़बरदस्त आग लगी है, उन लोग का घोंसला और सब जलने लगा. तो वो चिड़िया ने आसपास देखा कि कहाँ पानी है, तो उसने जाके एक तालाब जैसा उसको दिखा, वहाँ से अपनी चोंच में पानी लिया और जहाँ आग लग रही थी वहाँ पे उसने पानी डाला. तो वहाँ पे हाथी ने आके देखा और उसने बोला कि अरे चिड़िया क्या कर रही है तू, तेरे ये इतने पानी डालने से कुछ नहीं होगा. तो चिड़िया ने बताया कि हाथी जी वो तो मुझे भी पता है कि मेरे इतनी चोंच में पानी लेने से डालने से कुछ नहीं होगा, पर जब इतिहास लिखा जाएगा तब मेरा नाम आग फैलाने वालों में से नहीं, आग बुझाने वालों में लगेगा. सो आई एम श्योर कि यहाँ पे बैठे जितने भी यूथ है वो 1 डिग्री चैलेंज को टेकअप करेंगे और अपने आसपास हर जगह पे एनवायरनमेंट को बचाने के लिए, मदर अर्थ को बचाने के लिए अपना पूरा सपोर्ट देंगे. और प्लेज के लिए आई विल रिक्वेस्ट तलाटी सर टू प्लीज़ कम ऑन द स्टेज. हम सब अपनी जगह पे अगर आप कन्विंस हो ये कंसेप्ट से तो हम राइट हैंड अपना रेज करेंगे और हम सब प्लेज लेंगे.
ખરેખર કહું તો હૃદયપૂર્વક ઈશ્વરને ખૂબ ખૂબ અભિનંદન. બહુ નાનો પ્રયાસ પણ એક સાથે હજારો હાથ આમાં જોડાય તો શું રિઝલ્ટ આવી શકે એની અમાપ શક્યતા ધરાવે છે એવો આ પ્લેજ. અત્યારે માત્ર આપણે નથી, સાથે લગભગ મારી 1000 કોલેજ પણ અમે અત્યારે એને લાઈવ જોડી છે. એ વિદ્યાર્થીગણને પણ હું આના માધ્યમથી કહું છું, ફેસબુક લાઈવથી, કે આપ પણ પ્લેજ લેજો જ્યાં પણ હો, જેટલા પણ હો. અને શક્ય હોય તો જેમ ઘરે રોજ આપણે પ્રાર્થના કરીને ઘરની શરૂઆત કરીએ છીએ એમ આવા પ્લેજ ખરેખર આપણી ઓફિસોમાં જે આપણા ક્લાસ 3, ક્લાસ 4 કર્મચારીઓ છે, ખાસ કરીને સરકારમાં, કારણ કે અમે તો એસી ચાલુ નથી કરતા હોતા, એ કરતા હોય છે. અને કદાચ અમે પણ ગુનેગાર છીએ, કારણ કે નીકળી જાય પછી પણ એસી ઘણીવાર ચાલુ હોય છે અને સરકારમાં તો પાછી એવી ટેવ છે, એનો એક સાહેબ અલગથી પ્લેજ લેવો પડશે અમારે, કે અમે આવીએ એના અડધા કલાક પહેલાં એસી રૂમ ઠંડો થઈ જવો જોઈએ. આ જે માનસિકતા છે એમાંથી પણ બધાએ નીકળવાની જરૂર છે. HVACના જે એસીની વાત છે એના વિશે પછી આપણે લેશું, પણ હું એવું ઈચ્છું કે ખરેખર ઈશ્વરે ભવિષ્યમાં એ પણ સમજાવે કે સિંગલ સ્પ્લિટ એસી સારા કે જે 6 ટન 10 ટન એ આખા ઘરમાં જે નાખવાની પ્રથા છે એનાથી ખરેખર કેટલું એનર્જી સેવિંગ થાય છે આની મોટાભાગના લોકોને ક્લેરિટી નથી. આના વિશે ખરેખર કોઈને ખ્યાલ નથી, મને પણ ખ્યાલ નથી. એટલે કમસે કમ અમને એજ્યુકેટ કરો. આ પણ મને લાગે છે એનર્જી સેવિંગની દિશામાં એક મોટું કદમ થશે. અગેન ખૂબ ખૂબ અભિનંદન ઈશ્વરને, અને આપણે બધા પ્લેજ લઈએ. I take the pledge to become earth-motional and to increase temperature of my air conditioners, of my surroundings by at least 1 degree, and if possible set it at minimum 24 degrees Celsius to save energy, reduce CO2 and save the planet. I also commit to spread the awareness for the same. I do. Thank you.
થેન્ક યુ સો મચ સર. અને જસ્ટ એક બીજી રિક્વેસ્ટ છે કે એસીને રૂટીન 3 મહિને મેન્ટેનન્સ કરાવતા રહેશો તો પણ બિલ ઓછું આવશે. તમારા ફેનને પણ તમે 1 અથવા 2 ઉપર ચાલુ રાખીને એસીને 26-27 ઉપર રાખીને પણ જો યુઝ કરશો તો પણ કમ્ફર્ટ રહેશે અને બિલ ઓછું આવશે. થેન્ક યુ સો મચ વન્સ અગેન.
Thank you so much, Darkar sir. We are very fortunate that we could get a chance to listen Darkar sir, who has continuously busy schedule, but spared the time for this event. Thank you, Darkar sir, for introducing Ishray and Mr. Sneh. I think this was very, very important information and great work for spreading of this. Thank you, Talati sir, for getting all the pledge for this 24 degrees centigrade. This AMA hall is to be in possession of AMA by 8:15, and so unfortunately very, very good speakers, but we have a limitation of the time, so I would request to stick to time limit to all speaker. Now we have the Energy Conservation Building Code and its significance, amendment and notification of ECBC, and way forward implementation of ECBC, Energy Conservation Building Code. I would request Mr. Pankaj Kasture, Executive General Manager, Lead Consultancy and Engineering Services, Private Limited, Mumbai. Sir.
Good evening to you all. Thanks for this opportunity to share what is happening on the Energy Conservation Building Code in the state of Gujarat. Before I get into the technicalities of the presentation, hats off to Climate Change Department of Government of Gujarat for this wonderful initiative of Panchamrut. When I got the agenda for this Panchamrut event, which is not a one-day event, but almost a 14 days event, which talks about climate resilience, climate actions, water management, energy conservation. And I really hats off to leadership team of Climate Change Department for taking such a wonderful initiative and this opportunity to be here to present our views on the Energy Conservation Code in the state of Gujarat. So this is what I'll be covering. I will try to stick myself to time limit of around 15 minutes. So this is what, when we talk about the energy conservation, green building, net zero and all these things, the epicenter of all this concept lies in the sustainable development. So I have one slide to share with you, one video to share with you. Okay, so this video was about how the temperature has rise over a period of last from 1880 to 1984, how it has rise. So it is about that temperature rise because of the various human being activities and the developmental activities. So when we talk about the sustainable development, Jayesh has covered it very well, but it's basically simple definition of the sustainable development is whatever development is happening, the needs of the present generation should be met, whereas at the same time, the adequate amount of resources should be left out for the future generation. This is a simple development definition of the sustainable development, and all these concepts, when we talk about a green building, which also basis on the sustainable development about resource conservation, energy conservation also talks about the same thing. So this is what a global energy scenario. India is nowhere behind far. It's almost the third largest player when it comes to the energy consumption pattern globally. This is very interesting. If you look at the building segment put together, residential and commercial, we are almost consuming 32% of the total energy pie. So it means almost 1/3 portion goes to the building segment. Hence it is topmost priority to identify opportunities for the energy conservation, energy efficiency in this segment. And if you look at the, cascading effect of this, when you consume energy, it is going to emit some sort of CO2 emissions. So when it comes to the building segment, it is contributing almost 150 million tons of CO2 and also one of the important player. Hence, it is also important that we conserve energy and also help the environment by reducing our CO2 footprint because of the building operations. This is what an estimate where from last 20 years, from say 2017 to 2037, how the energy estimation is going to grow based on the around 9 to 10% growth in the building segment. Look at the figure, it is almost 130 gigawatt hours of energy we will be requiring at that stage of 2030. So to have this much of amount of energy, how many much more power plants, what capacity of power plants needs to be installed, that is really a matter of concern. Hence, there is a need of energy conservation. And if you look at the existing building segment, which talks about almost 1.4 billion square meter, and in next say 20 years, we'll be planning to add another 0.8 million square meter. So all put together, by 2037, the scenario would be, we have almost 2.2 billion square meter of built up space, but out of which 61% will be consuming your energy and 39% will be for the new development. So again, challenge is, the development is happening, but in parallel, are we in a position to develop that much number of thermal power plant or hydro power plant? Hence, there is a need to shift to other aspects also, which could be renewable, and also to develop the concept of energy efficiency and energy conservation. So with all this background, same thought process was there as early as 1990. Particularly in 1970, we had a global energy crisis, and entire world had a lot of learning out of that process. And fortunately, in 2001, Government of India at that point of time has taken an initiative, and Energy Conservation Act was enacted in the Parliament. And as a byproduct of that act, many things has happened. Like we have a pool of energy auditors, energy manager. Energy Conservation Building Code is one of the important deliverable of this act, which was first time released in 2007. And after that, in 2017 and 2020, it was amended. Amendment in any act shows some dynamic behavior of that act. So that is what is happening in India. It is being amended based on the requirements, based on the market demands, and based on the how progressive we are in terms of reaching out to the new targets. So this act basically covers efficient use of energy and conservation of energy. Now we will get into the more about inside the act, what it consists of basically. So basically any building, which is new building or an existing building, or say first new building, which is having a connected load of 100 kW or a contract demand of 120 kVA, will be an eligible candidate to comply with the Energy Conservation Building Code. And the typologies which are covered under this act are educational institutions, healthcare segment, hospitality, business segment, which are commercial offices, then shopping complexes and assembly kind of a thing. Now, if suppose an existing building is there, which is basically planning for an expansion. So after an expansion, if the total connected load of the building becomes more than 100 kW or 120 kVA, then that expansion part will be eligible for the complying for the Energy Conservation Building Code. And if suppose retrofitting of the building is happening within the same space, within the same area, and after retrofitting, if suppose your expected demand is likely to go beyond 100 kW or 120, then also that retrofitting or revamping will become an eligible candidate for the compliance for the Energy Conservation Building Code. Now, there are some exceptions also in this code, like manufacturing processes are exempted, and safety, security, health and environmental codes are given a rider here. So this is important aspect here. Now, when it comes to the Gujarat government, the various bodies, advisory bodies are working with the Gujarat government for the implementation of ECBC in the state. I'm part of that cell who is constituted at JEDA. I'm leading that cell along with my other 3 members who are based out of JEDA office. And a lot of work has been done in that regard. So I will give you some insight about that also. So based on the ECBC code, which is at national level, the code has been little bit customized and made suitable for the Gujarat state. And when it will be amended, when it will come into picture, it will be called as a Gujarat ECBC code. And scope will be same. Any building having a connected load of 100 kW or 120 kVA will be an eligible candidate for this ECBC code. And when it comes to the climate, because this is a change here, when you look at the national aspect, the entire country has been categorized into 5 climatic typologies, whereas when it comes to the Gujarat state, after deeper study, the entire state is categorized into only 3 typologies, which is basically composite type of climate, hot and dry, warm and humid. So when we were talking about the Gujarat ECBC cell, the climate typologies covered will be only these 3, because these are the applicable typologies when it comes to the climate for a state of Gujarat. So this will be a one change as compared to a national energy conservation building code. As I said, there are 6 different segments or 6 different verticals which are covered. Hospitality. So within the hospitality, star, non-star, resort are covered under this. Educational institutions, colleges, universities, institutions, schools are covered. When it comes to shopping complexes, which is growing at a faster pace, shopping mall, standalone retails also are covered, open gallery malls, supermarket. And when it comes to business offices, either a daytime use or a 24/7 use, all are covered. And when it comes to assembly, multiplex, theater, building. But again, basic concept is more than 100 kW or 120 kVA will be applicable. So when it comes to what are the various components which are covered under the ECBC cell, so as you are aware, building consists of various components. So one on foremost is the envelope, which consists of your wall, roof, and facade, or a glazing we can say. So this has given a topmost priority, and a lot of stringency has been brought into the building envelope thing. Then control systems and controls, which is basically mechanical ventilation or natural ventilation thing has been covered there. Then lighting system, electrical system, which talks about transformer or say power factor. Then good thing is that renewable energy has been given adequate amount of space in the energy conservation building code. It asks for the either having a specified zone for the renewable energy thing or having a renewable energy system in the project. Then most important is controls and system, which talks about like CO2 controls or time clock or occupancy sensor, daylight sensor. All these things are covered under the controls and system part. So that is also given an adequate amount of consideration into the energy conservation code. Other things are transformer, voltage drop should be limited, then transformer losses, DG set, what should be your UPS efficiencies and all these things. Again, motor efficiencies, and most important is metering and monitoring. Because it is said that you can save that energy which you can go to meter only. So metering and monitoring is the topmost importance in the energy conservation building code. And as I said, renewable energy has an adequate space into this code. Now, good thing is that when first time it was launched in 2007, there was only one thing, ECBC compliant building. But even I think Bureau has learned a lot. And in 2017, when it was amended, it has given a good options that either you can be normal ECBC compliant or ECBC plus or super ECBC. The concept is if somebody overperforming or somebody is delivering exemplary performance in the performance of design of a building and design strategies which are helpful to save energy, then that can be considered as a more efficient as compared to a normal ECBC compliant building. So with that thought process, ECBC plus and super ECBC has been brought in 2017 amendment. So that was a very good move. Now if you compare normal ECBC or ECBC plus or super ECBC as compared to typical building, the savings could be in the range of up to 25%. ECBC building versus a typical building. And when it's a super ECBC building and you are comparing that super ECBC against a typical building, then energy saving goes as high as up to 50%. So that is substantial, really substantial. And super ECBC has got its own challenges in terms of meeting the EPI criteria and all these things. Now, in terms of methodology in the code, there are certain mandatory requirements. Like it's like appearing for an exam paper where your passing criteria is 35%. So mandatory requirement is like that, where you have to achieve that 35%, something like that. So mandatory, once a mandatory is met, then and then only you get into the other strategies which will helpful to improve your performance in overall. So for that, 2 methodologies has been prescribed by the code. One is the prescriptive requirement, where something has been specified. As a designer, you have to just pick up that and adopt in your building. Other option could be, like say prescriptive means it says your U value of your wall should be this much. Then it should be prescribed as it is in your building design. That is called prescriptive. When it comes to the whole building performance, So here basically we develop a energy model or an energy simulation for your building where all components of building in terms of building envelope, in terms of your HVAC system, lighting and controls goes into the model, and the possible trade-off between these various components is possible into energy modeling. So trade-off means you may, because of some other constraint, you may not be doing good in one aspect, like say envelope, but you are doing very good in a lighting, you are doing very good in the HVAC. So that will help us to save a lot. So because of that, prescriptive approach is mostly adopted by most of the buildings when it is showing the compliance for the energy performance. So this is how the EPI is calculated, the overall energy consumption and against the total built up area, excluding the unconditioned area. And when it comes to the EPI ratio has to be calculated. EPI ratio is nothing but a relationship between the energy consumption for a standard building against the proposed building. So if you divide your proposed building consumption by a standard building, you get the EPI. And for a ECBC compliant building, ECBC EPI ratio should be 1 or less than 1. And when it comes to the ECBC plus and super ECBC, the ratio changes. It can come down to 0.9 or 0.8. That's for the challenges. So these are the few benefits which I am just listed here. First, the important thing is that up to 25% energy saving if you are making a normal ECBC compliant building, and other benefits like CO2 emissions, naturally cooling, and other opportunities because of the projected rise in the building segment. Amendment also is there, so I'm not going to speak about this because there are almost 17 number of amendments which are, we could say, fine-tuning or maybe some add-on components depending upon the progressive nature of the market has been brought in. This is what the current state of ECBC across the nation. Out of total 20 states and 2 union territories have been adopted this code and notified also. And green color states are awaiting for the notification, which includes states like Gujarat, Maharashtra, Chhattisgarh, Delhi, Ladakh, J&K, Tamil Nadu, Jharkhand, Bihar, and that side Meghalaya and all. So this codes where work has been done may go for notification in few months or few days. As far as the Gujarat is concerned, we have a ECBC cell established at JEDA office, which is basically a byproduct of tri-party agreement between Bureau of Energy Efficiency, JEDA, and a consulting advisory firm, which I represent, Lead Consultancy and Engineering Services. So here we are advising them for these 4 aspects. Work package 1, where basically technical assistance for implementation and enforcement of the ECBC in the state. Work package 2 is about technical assistance for building design and evaluation, where we take the demo projects and see whether the demo project is meeting the compliance or not, and also guide the project owner for what sort of strategies to be bring in to make it ECBC compliant. Third, very important is the capacity building activities, where we do conduct training for the various stakeholders, which are consultants, which are government officers, which are ULB officers, just to give them the insight about the ECBC, what are the compliance strategies and all these things. And fourth one is the building star labeling program, which is for the existing building. So this is what the work has been completed till date. So I will not get into much. So a lot of work has been done till date, and what we are looking forward is the to amend local bylaws and your DCR in order to mandate the code in the building use permission process. And when it comes to the government working, there is something called schedule of rates for the various materials. So based on the ECBC requirement, we have identified what are the materials which can be included in the current SOR, and that material has been proposed, formulated, and has been proposed also for including to the current SOR as a part of upgradation. Because these are the steps required towards the ECBC compliant society. And we are planning to have a more number of pilot projects to be undertaken where it will create an awareness among the various stakeholders that, okay, ECBC compliant buildings are there in the state. So way forward would be, most important is that engaging various stakeholders. So for that, private players and government players to be on the one platform for smoother implementation of the codes, then designating and defining roles and responsibility of various stakeholders, which include your ULBs, urban local bodies, UDD departments, state level bodies, and also the private players also. For them also very important to define the roles and responsibilities. Then roll out the codes and ensure in-spirit implementation for the compliance. So that is very critical. And then integration of the ECBC and ENS compliance process in the existing online building approval system. This is very critical, and for that there will be a lot of dialogue has to be worked out with the ULBs. Then capacity building through training or awareness kind of a thing, or this sort of sessions. Then develop a system for monitoring. These are the way forward we are looking forward. Few materials as a part of this process we identified. So you used to see red brick as a regular thing in many construction, but nowadays very rare to see red bricks are be adopted. Most of the people are adopting AAC block or fly ash bricks, and when it comes to glass, people are shifting to double glazed glass and all these things. Insulation has been available in the market. So as a part of the working methodology at our cell, we identified various products, and SOR has been developed for that.
Sir,
So
a very limitation of the time.
So just last.
There are other two speakers, so we just have to give the possession of the hall by 8:15, and we still have two speakers. So I request you to.
So this is what the last concluding slide of mine. I will not speak much about it because it speaks about the numbers itself, that what is the cascading effect because of the implementation. I have this important slide to share with you. Even Sneha spoke about this. Our Honorable Prime Minister has taken a pledge at COP26 that India will be carbon neutral by 2017. This was no less than a shock for the working professionals, other than means not less than the demonetization. And after that, professionals started debating on this thing. But it's a time for all of us to think in the pledge to achieve this thing. As an individual, what we are going to contribute. As a professional, what we are going to contribute. As a society, what will be our contribution. As a country, as a State Department, and all these things. What we'll be doing for this one. And if we get the answer, then road ahead would be very complex. But what is important is strategic and cohesive efforts among all the stakeholders with futuristic vision, which will be really a game changer to achieve this vision. With this, I rest my session. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Now, about the Econivas Sanhita, that is the code for residential building. I'm inviting Mr. Gautam Nagar, Senior Advisor of Global Building Performance Network. Sir, you have to limit your presentation to 10 minutes.
Thank you. So till the time presentation is coming up, I have just 10 minutes of my time, so I won't go too deep in the discussion. I will try to make it more interactive as much as I can and focus on the important points. So I'll try, ma'am, to cut down to 5 minutes if I can. Yeah. So I just wanted to understand, or rather make you guys understand the reason why I became a civil engineer. Because, every time I used to, I started my engineering back in 2006. So at that point of time, civil engineering was a subject who was being taken by someone who had, real estate as dad's business or mom's business. And then those people used to take civil engineering. And eventually, I realized that, okay, I don't have any such background. Why should I take the civil engineering as a subject? So till the time civilization is there, civil is there, that is someone told me at that point of time. And when I started my engineering, I started to realize that we are the culprit. And why are we calling civil engineers as a culprit? Because the rate at which we humans are depleting our natural resources, it seems that we may need another globe to satisfy our needs. Because आपने इतनी सारी presentations अभी तक सुन ली है, one thing you must have understood very clearly that buildings consume energy. And I have an honor to introduce you the younger sister of ECBC, not a younger brother, but younger sister, because in India we have a tendency of dedicating the new life or dedicating the new starting to a female because we call it the Lord Lakshmi. And this is something which resides here. ENS is basically for the residential buildings. And that's where this whole thing has started. So in 2018, ENS got introduced in the system as a part of ECBC for residential building. And now ENS got another part 2 in 2021. So here I'm representing Global Building Performance Network as a senior advisor. And the intent of the presentation is to help you understand what GBPN is and also how can you implement and upgrade yourself by adopting ENS compliance. So GBPN is an international NGO based out of Paris, and what we do is we ensure that most of the developing countries such as ours, Indonesia, China, parts of China rather, and other regions in the MENA district, in the MENA region, all these countries, we help them to adopt policies by interacting with their local experts. So we engage their local partners, we ensure we help them develop and implement resource efficiency measures and decarbonization in the building sector. So this is the international NGO for which we are working. And as I mentioned, ENS is divided into two parts. As Mr. Pankaj also mentioned that building mein there are only two components, the envelope part and the electromechanical equipment that you see. First part is envelope, second part is electromechanical equipment. On top of it, you can add renewable energy to it. So this is what it covers. Now, why did I say it's a younger sister? It's a younger sister because it has not been implemented anywhere. It's at a very nascent stage. It's a younger sister of ECBC. Now, in order to implement anything, you will definitely face certain challenges. The challenges are as follows. The first challenge is policy and institutional. Second is technical and managerial. Third is material and technology. And fourth is financial. Why policy? We do have ENS in place, but it is not yet a part of bylaws. Any builder who would want to construct, he would have to follow the bylaw. So the first thing we need to do is integrate it in the bylaw, which is a process and it will happen eventually. We have seen success in ECBC eventually, and we will see success in ENS as well. Technical and managerial, youths like you are the future, and you guys should support and come up front in order to introduce yourself as the technical arm to implement such codes, implement such policies in the state. Right now we have shortage, but eventually we will be achieving that target what Bureau of Energy Efficiency is trying to achieve along with MAUA. Material and technology. People want to construct, people want to design energy efficient homes, but many a times they think that, oh, where should I procure the material from? Where should I get this from? Where should I get that from? That's the challenge that goes in my mind, in everyone's mind for that matter. I believe in the first presentation, sir introduced you with the list of building materials, and even Pankaj sir introduced with the list of building materials. Now, these building materials are available, but if you want to construct something in Gujarat and if you have to procure something from Maharashtra or Uttar Pradesh, it will add more CO2 emission because you have to transport that particular equipment or transport that material to your state. So such kind of information and awareness or data availability remains a challenge. Then financial. We know that for green buildings, we have some incentives, but for energy efficient buildings right now, we don't have any straight incentive in mind. Now, not to confuse you, but it's a very simple thing. All green buildings are energy efficient, but not necessary that all energy efficient buildings are green, right? So we do have measures for green buildings financially, but we don't have any incentive measures for green ENS or ECBC compliant buildings as of now. So in order to mitigate these challenges, since 2019, GBPN is working in Gujarat, and we have done some innovative work, solution-oriented work in order to make sure that the challenges that ECBC has faced in order to get implemented, ENS should not face. So what all did we do? We first asked ourselves these set of questions. Is the system ready to take the challenge? Are the materials available in the state? How much will it cost? Whom do I contact? How to design and construct? And can we get post-construction services as well? That helped us to adopt several steps. The very first step, and I would please request if there is silence, that would be great. A lot of efforts have gone into it to ensure that we help the state of Gujarat to, adopt ENS. It's a humble request if the silence can be there. Thank you. So In order to adopt these steps, what we did, we first adopted a ground level approach. We first understood क्या material available है, अगर available है तो builder को बनाने में कितना रुपया लगेगा, कितना increment होगा, so that any builder who wants to construct it, whether she or he will be in a position to do that. Secondly, if I have to procure material, where do I procure it from? If I have to hire an engineer, where do I hire him or her from? If I have to ensure that we have all the design, all the calculations in place, how do I do that? So for that, we have developed one-stop shop online platform. We are calling it as Gujarat ENS Platform. You go to that platform, you enter your details. Like you saw, Gujarat is divided into 3 climatic regions. You select any city, you select any district, any region. You will have dedicated information with regards to that particular area. कौन से type का materials available है, who are the consultants that you can connect with, what type of calculations you are required to do, and eventually it will connect you with Bureau of Energy Efficiency website where you can get your compliance certificate. And on top of it, what we have also done is, because more often we get to hear whose responsibility is what, SDA की क्या responsibility होगी, AMC की क्या responsibility होगी, दूसरे की क्या responsibility होगी. So we created a comprehensive implementation guide for ENS so that the challenges हमने ECBC के time face किए थे, we don't face any of it, and as soon as the government is ready, we put it in front of the government and government adopts ENS as well in Gujarat. And to top it all, what we are now introducing in the new financial year are the living labs. You will see a live building getting constructed in Gujarat which is ENS compliant. And we will be supporting several builders. And we have also conducted several design charrettes to help the builder community of Gujarat in order to design and construct ENS compliant homes, mainly affordable homes. And we are also proposing the Center of Excellence. It's just like a call center. कोई problem हो आप call करो, कोई भी issue है आप उनको approach कर सकते हो. Center of Excellence will have professionals who will help you resolve your queries so that the path becomes easy. So with this intent, we aim to make the state ENS compliant. So these are the measures that we have done, and these are the projects that we have already implemented in the design charrette form in Gujarat. And if you see, most of the features, what we observed during the design charrette are doable. And the ones which are not doable are very minuscule level challenges that we face. So which means ENS is possible and can be implemented simultaneously. And I really encourage and request the government to please take up, as you have introduced this particular step, and accept the work that we all have done together to ensure the implementation of ENS. With this, thank you so much.
We have with us Gaurang Patel from Indian Plumbing Association. I would request Jai to bring this one rumal and this book to Talati sir to welcome Gaurang Bhai. Gaurang Bhai is the chairman from Indian Plumbing Association, and on our request, he is here. Mr. Harshal Parikh, Vice Chairman of Indian Plumbing Association, is going to present about ways and means of water conservation. Sir, very sorry, but you only have like 10 minutes, so please give overview about your subject.
બાજુ બાજુ. હે નહીં થાય? થઈ યસ, થેન્ક યુ. કર દો. ગુડ ઇવનિંગ. 10 મિનિટ આપો અને 150 લીટર પાણી બચાવી આપું અને 15 રૂપિયાનો ફાયદો કરી આપું. ઘણું બધું બોલી ગયા છે. હું ફક્ત મુદ્દાની જ વાત કરીશ. થોડુંક પ્રેઝન્ટેશન ઇન્ટરેક્ટિવ બનાવ્યું છે. પહેલી જ સ્લાઇડમાં લખ્યું છે કે આપણે જે પાણી અને હવા લઈ રહ્યા છે એ કોકની લઈ રહ્યા છે. કોકની એટલે મીન્સ કે પાછળ આપણા જે બાપદાદાઓ આવવાના છે, અત્યારે આપણે જે પાણીને હવા લઈ રહ્યા છે એમની લઈ રહ્યા છે. એટલે આપણે એમના માટે કંઈક બચાવીને રાખવાનું છે. એટલે જે પણ વાપરો એ સમજી અને વિચારીને વાપરજો. દેટ ઇઝ અવર મેઇન ગોલ. હવે ગ્રીન બિલ્ડિંગની ઘણી બધી વાતો થઈ, તો ગ્રીન બિલ્ડિંગની અંદર તમે જેમ જોયું એમ કે પાણી બચાવવું જ પડશે તો જ તમને સર્ટિફિકેશન મળશે. એટલે એક પ્રકારનું સર્ટિફિકેશન લેવા માટે તમારે પાણી બચાવવાનું છે. તો પાણી કેવી રીતે બચાવીશું એ આપણે હવે જોઈશું. એ પહેલાં હું તમને એક નાનકડી આઉટલાઇન આપી દઉં પ્રોગ્રામ અમારા પ્રેઝન્ટેશનની. ક્લાઇમેટ ચેન્જ મેઇન જે થીમનો ટોપિક છે, તો ક્લાઇમેટ ચેન્જ પર 2 જ સ્લાઇડ તમને બતાવવા માગું છું. દેન આફ્ટર વી જમ્પ ઇન ટુ ધ વોટર કન્ઝર્વેશન્સ. અને વોટર જ્યારે પાણી તમે બચાવો છો, જ્યારે પણ તમે પાણી બચાવશો તો એક એડ ઓન ફાયદો થાય છે. એક તીરમાં 2 નિશાન જેને આપણે કહીએ છીએ. તો જ્યારે પણ પાણી બચાવશો જોડે તમને એનર્જી બોનસમાં બચી જશે. એટલે 1 લીટર પાણી બચાવ્યું તો ડેફિનેટલી 10 પૈસાની ઇલેક્ટ્રિસિટી તમને બોનસમાં બચી ગઈ. બરાબર છે. દેન આફ્ટર વી ટોક અબાઉટ ઇન્ડિયન પ્લમ્બિંગ એસોસિએશન. હું ઇન્ડિયન પ્લમ્બિંગ એસોસિએશન સાથે છેલ્લા 15 વર્ષથી સંકળાયેલો છું અને અમારી શું પ્રવૃત્તિઓ છે એ તમને ટૂંકાણમાં બતાવી દઈશું. તમે સ્લાઇડ જોઈ રહ્યા છો, બધા વોટ્સઅપ વાપરે છે. ડાબી બાજુ છે એ ક્લાઇમેટનો મૂડ છે અને ક્લાઇમેટના મૂડને લીધે જમણી બાજુ માણસોના મૂડ કેવા થાય છે. હવે બેઝિકલી જે ડાબી બાજુનો ક્લાઇમેટનો મૂડ છે એ પણ જમણી બાજુના લોકોએ જ ક્લાઇમેટનો મૂડ એવો કર્યો છે. એટલે અલ્ટિમેટલી કહેવાનો મતલબ એ છે કે વિશિયસ સાયકલ છે એક. આવી રીતે મૂડ બદલાતા રહેશે. જ્યાં સુધી બંનેના મૂડ સરખા નહીં થાય ત્યાં સુધી આપણે કામ કરવાનું છે. ક્લાઇમેટ ચેન્જથી શું થઈ રહ્યું છે બધા જ જાણે જ છે, એટલે બહુ એની અંદર ચર્ચા અંદર ઉતરતા નથી. બટ અલ્ટિમેટ ક્લાઇમેટ ચેન્જ એ એક પ્રકારનું વોટર ક્રાઇસિસ છે એવું યુનાઇટેડ નેશન્સ કહી રહ્યું છે અને એ આપણે બધા અનુભવી રહ્યા છીએ. અને આવનારા દિવસોમાં આ ઘણું બધું ઉગ્ર બની પણ શકે છે જો આપણે આપણી પ્રવૃત્તિઓ સુધારીશું નહીં તો. અત્યારે જુઓ તો બધું અનબેલેન્સ જ થઈ ગયું છે બધું. ગમે ત્યાં ધડધડાઈને વરસાદ પડી જાય, ગમે ત્યાં ટેમ્પરેચર 48-50 પહોંચી જાય, કોઈ જગ્યાએ પાણી મળે, કોઈ જગ્યાએ ના મળે, પાણી વધારે પડી જાય તોય પીવા લાયક ના રહે. સો ધીઝ આર ધ ઓલ કોન્સિક્વન્સીસ. એટલે આખી એક બેલેન્સ જે છે આખું ખોરવાઈ ગયું છે બેઝિકલી. અને એ જ મેઇન ક્લાઇમેટ ચેન્જનો એક મેઇન પડકારરૂપ કહી શકાય એવી વસ્તુ છે આ. ક્લાઇમેટ ચેન્જની અંદર અર્થની ક્લાઇમેટ સિસ્ટમ કેવી રીતે કામ કરે છે. તમે ઉપર નીચે બધા તીર મારેલા જોયા છે બધા જુદા જુદા. તો એમાં જે એ સૂર્યવાળું તીર છે ને દેટ ઇઝ વેરી મચ ઇમ્પોર્ટન્ટ ફોર ધ ક્લાઇમેટ ચેન્જ હિયર. અને બીજું એક તમે ગ્રીન જોઈ રહ્યા છો, હ્યુમન ઇન્ટરવેન્શન્સ. તો આપણે માણસો કેવી રીતનું કામ કરીશું તો જ એ ઉપર નીચેના તીર બેલેન્સ થશે. હું સ્કીપ કરું છું. યુનાઇટેડ નેશન્સ એવું કહ્યું છે પ્રિલિમિનરી ક્લાઇમેટ ચેન્જ ઇઝ નથિંગ બટ ધ વોટર ક્રાઇસિસ. હવે ક્લાઇમેટ ચેન્જના લીધે થાય છે શું? પાણીની જ્યારે આપણે વાત કરતા હોઈએ ત્યારે વોટર અને ક્લાઇમેટ ચેન્જની સિક્કાની 2 બાજુઓ છે. જ્યારે પણ ક્લાઇમેટ ચેન્જ થાય છે ત્યારે ટેમ્પરેચર ડિફરન્સ થાય છે અને ટેમ્પરેચર ડિફરન્સના કારણે ઘણી જગ્યાએ વરસાદ વધારે પડે, ઘણી જગ્યાએ વરસાદ ઓછો પડે. વરસાદ વધારે પડવાથી અને ઓછો પડવાથી બંને પ્રક્રિયાની અંદર આપણને પીવાલાયક પાણીની અંદર બહુ જ ઇમ્પોર્ટન્ટ વસ્તુ વધે પાણી અને ઓછું પણ થઈ શકે છે અને પોલ્યુશન્સ પણ એટલું જ થઈ શકે છે. દેટ વી વિલ સી. આ યુનાઇટેડ નેશનના 6 મુદ્દાનો એક કાર્યક્રમ છે જે ક્લાઇમેટ ચેન્જ માટે બહુ ઇમ્પોર્ટન્ટ છે. હવે એક વાર્તા છે, આમાં બધાને આ વાર્તા ક્યાંક ને ક્યાંક તો ભણ્યા હશો, બાલ મંદિરમાં ભણ્યા છો, પહેલાં બીજા ત્રીજામાં. હવે બેઝિકલી આમાં કાગડો બહુ ઇન્ટેલિજન્ટ છે. કાગડાને તરસ લાગી તો એણે એની તરસ છીપાવી લીધી. કેવી રીતે? પથ્થરો નાખીને પાણી ઉપર આવ્યું. બરાબર. એટલે કાગડાને પાણીની અગત્યતા, પાણીનું ઇમ્પોર્ટન્સ બહુ જ ખબર છે. અને આપણને જ્યારે તરસ લાગે ત્યારે આપણને ઇમ્પોર્ટન્સ પણ પાણીનું ખબર છે, એનું મહત્ત્વ ખબર છે. પાણી એક માની જેમ કામ કરે છે. બટ અત્યારે થઈ શું રહ્યું છે કે કાગડાએ પથ્થર નાખીને પાણીને ઉપર લાવ્યો, પણ આપણે પાણીને નીચે લઈ જઈ રહ્યા છીએ. તો હું વાત કરી રહ્યો છું ગ્રાઉન્ડ વોટરની. સો આપણે પાણીને નીચે લઈ જઈ રહ્યા છીએ. એટલું બધું નીચે અત્યારે લઈ ગયા છીએ, ઓવર એક્સપ્લોટેશન થઈ ગયું છે. અને હમણાં જ આ સિઝન દરમિયાન 2-3 મહિના પહેલાં અમદાવાદની આજુબાજુના વિસ્તારોમાં આ બધો લોકોએ ફેસ પ્રોબ્લેમ કર્યો પણ છે. એટલે એઝ એ ઇન્ટેલિજન્સ હ્યુમન બિંગ તરીકે આપણે કરવું શું જોઈએ કે આ જે નીચે બધા પથરા પડ્યા છે ને, તો એ બધા વોટર સેવિંગ્સના વેઝ એન્ડ મીન્સ મેં મૂકેલા છે. તો એક એક લઈને આપણે દરરોજ નાખ્યા કરવાનું છે. આ બધા યુથ, એન્જિનિયરિંગ કોલેજના આટલા બધા સ્ટુડન્ટ્સો, ટેકનોક્રેટ્સ બધા અહીંયા આગળ આપણી સાથે આજે જોડાયેલા છે. તો બધા એક પથરો લઈને અહીંથી જાય અને એક પથરો અંદર નાખો અને આપણે પાણીને ઊંચું લાવવાનું છે. સો દેટ ઇઝ ધ મેઇન ક્રક્સ ઓફ ધીસ પિક્ચર. એટલે ખાસ આ વાર્તા બતાવી છે. અને બધા સવાર ઉઠો એટલે કાગડાને યાદ કરજો, એટલે તમને આખી વાર્તા યાદ આવી જશે. આ બધું આપણે જાણીએ જ છે. એ લોકો કેટલા લઈને જાય છે, બેડ્યા અને બધું. બહુ વર્ષો પહેલાં મેં 2004-5માં ધંધુકામાં એક જોબ લીધી હતી. ત્યારે મને ત્યાં ધંધુકાના લોકો કહેતા હતા કે ભાઈ અહીંયા અમારે તો એક કહેવત છે, દીકરી બંદૂકે દેજે પણ ધંધુકે ન દેજો. કારણ કે ધંધુકા ભાલ વિસ્તારની અંદર પાણી લેવા માટે 4-6 કિલોમીટર બેડા લઈને પાણી લઈ જવું પડતું હતું. પાણી માટે ટ્રેનો દોડે છે, પાણી માટે ટેન્કરો દોડે છે, બધાને ખ્યાલ છે. ઓકે, નાઉ વિચ આર ધ વેઝ ફોર વોટર કન્ઝર્વેશન? સો 3 R બહુ ઇમ્પોર્ટન્ટ છે. દેટ ઇઝ વન ઇઝ રિડ્યુસ, સેકન્ડ વન ઇઝ રીયુઝ, અને થર્ડ વન છે આપણો રિક્લેમ. તો હવે આ જે 3 R છે એને થોડા ડિટેલમાં પછીની સ્લાઇડોમાં સમજીએ. હવે પહેલું રિડ્યુસની આપણે જ્યારે વાત કરીએ છીએ તો આપણને પહેલાં ખબર હોવી જોઈએ કે મારે પાણી કેટલું બચાવવાનું છે. તો પહેલાં તમે પાણી કેટલું વાપરો છો એ સમજીએ. તો આ એક પાઈ ચાર્ટની અંદર બતાડ્યું છે જુદી જુદી પ્રવૃત્તિઓમાં આપણે કેટલું પાણી વાપરીએ છીએ. તો નાહવા માટે 55 લીટર વાપરીએ છીએ, પછી કુકિંગ માટે, ડ્રિંકિંગ માટે, એવી રીતે જુદા જુદા વોટર રિક્વાયરમેન્ટ આપણી દિવસની હોય છે. તો અર્બન એરિયામાં 135 લીટર ઓન એન એવરેજ પાણી આપણે માણસો વાપરતા હોય. તો હવે આ 135 ને 70 લાવવું છે, 90 લાવવું છે, તો એ કેવી રીતે કરી શકાય? there are certain norms ગ્રીન બિલ્ડિંગની અંદર કે ભાઈ તમે 20%, 30%, 40% રિડક્શન કરશો તો જ તમને સિલ્વર સર્ટિફિકેશન કે પ્લેટિનમ સર્ટિફિકેશન એવા સર્ટિફિકેશનો મળશે. તો આમાં તમને આ મેઇન બતાવવાનો મુદ્દો એટલો જ છે કે 55નું 40 કરી શકાય, 30નું 20 કરી શકાય. સો દેટ ઇઝ ધ મેઇન આઈડિયા. See, these are the 13 points wherein we can save the water. એરેટર વાપરી શકાય. તમે હોસ પાઇપથી ગાર્ડનિંગ કરતા હો એની જગ્યાએ તમે ડબલાથી કરો. પ્રેશર કમ્પન્સેટિંગ એરેટર વાપરો. સો ધીઝ આર ધ વેરિયસ મીન્સ. વોટર મીટર મૂકો. આ બધું તમે કરી શકો છો પાણી બચાવવા માટે. આમાંથી હું એક પોઈન્ટ ઉઠાવીને તમને આમાં બહુ ડિટેલમાં સમજાવવા માગું છું, અને જે અમારું મિશન પણ છે. આ એક લીકેજ માટેનું એક તમને એક એક્ઝામ્પલ આપવામાં આવ્યું છે અહીંયા આગળ કે ભાઈ જો 1 સેકન્ડમાં પાણીનું 1 ટીપું નળમાંથી નીકળે તો 1 દિવસમાં તમને કેટલો લોસ થાય છે, અને જો 2 ટીપા 1 સેકન્ડમાં નીકળે તો તમને કેટલો લોસ થાય છે. તો લગભગ તમારી પાસે 4,000 જેવો પાણીનો લોસ 1 દિવસની અંદર થાય છે. સો ધીઝ આર સમ આઈ ઓપનર થિંગ્સ. ધીઝ આર ઓલ પ્રેક્ટિકલ ડેટાઝ. તમે પણ જાતે કરી શકો છો ઘરે ડબલું મૂકીને. એટલે લીકેજને પ્રિવેન્ટ કરવું જોઈએ. જેમ ઈસરેવાળાએ પ્લેજ લીધી છે એવી રીતે અમારી પણ એક આઈ સેવ વોટરની પ્લેજ છે, અને અમારું એક આખું મિશન છે આઈ સેવ વોટર. ઇન્ડિયન પ્લમ્બિંગ એસોસિએશન તરફથી અમે એક આઈ સેવ વોટર નામનું મિશન ચલાવી છે, જેમાં 3 R રિડ્યુસ, રિક્લેમ અને રીયુઝને બહુ પ્રમોટ કરીએ છીએ. અને અમે અત્યાર સુધી વી આર પ્રાઉડ ટુ સે વી હેવ સેવ મોર દેન 33 કરોડ લીટર ઓફ વોટર હવે આમાં આની અંદર કરવાનું શું છે? કશું જ કરવાનું નથી. મારી પાસે 3 નાના રમકડા છે બેઝિકલી. હું એકદમ દેશી ભાષામાં, પ્લમ્બરની ભાષામાં વાત કરું. ધીઝ આર ઓલ એરેટર્સ. પછી જે બધાને જોવા હોય તો બતાડીશું. સો ધીઝ આર ઓલ એરેટર્સ. સો સિમ્પલી વી હેવ ટુ ચેન્જ ધ એક્ઝિસ્ટિંગ એરેટર ઓફ યોર ટેપ ફિટિંગ્સ. આ રીતના તમારું નળ હશે, જ્યાં ઘરે જઈને પ્રેક્ટિકલ કરીશું. આગળની કેપ ખુલી જશે, બહુ ઇઝીલી ખુલી જશે. કદાચ ક્ષાર જામી ગયો હશે તો વાર લાગશે. તો આ ટેપમાંથી તમારે તમારું આ જૂનું રમકડું કાઢી અને આ નવું લગાવવાનું છે. ધીસ ઇઝ એરેટર બેઝિકલી. બહુ બધા પ્રકારના એરેટર આવે છે, પણ અમે જે પ્રમોટ કરીએ છીએ 2.5 લીટર પર મિનિટ અને 5.7 લીટર પર મિનિટ. આ એક પ્રેક્ટિકલ એક્ઝામ છે. નોર્મલ એરેટર છે, ખાલી હવાને અંદર આવવા દે, પાણી સાથે મિક્સ કરીને તમને ફોર્મ ફીણવાળું પાણી આવતું હશે. તમારા ઘરે હાથ લગાડશો ને તો ફીણવાળું આવતું હશે. સો એ ખાલી સાદું એરેટર છે, એ હવા અને પાણી સાથે મિક્સ કરે છે. પણ અમારા જે એરેટર છે એ કામ કરે છે પ્રેશર કમ્પેન્સેટિંગ પ્રિન્સિપલ ઉપર. એટલે અંદર એક રબરની ઓરિંગ હોય છે, જે પ્રેશર વધારે આવે, જે પ્રમાણેનું પ્રેશર આવે એ પ્રમાણે એ ફ્લોને રિસ્ટ્રિક્ટ કરે છે અને ફક્ત 2.5 LPM પાણી આપે. એટલે ફોર એક્ઝામ્પલ 5 kgનું પ્રેશર હોય તો કોરસ્પોન્ડિંગ 5 kg પ્રેશર પ્રમાણે જો 12 લીટર પર મિનિટ પાણી આવતું હોય તો આ એરેટર 2.5 લીટર જ પાણી બહાર કાઢે. સો યુ કેન ઇમેજિન કેટલું બધું શેવિંગ થાય છે આમાં. આ પ્રેક્ટિકલ એક્ઝામ્પલ છે, અમે જાતે કરેલો છે. હું પણ ઊભો આમાં પાછળ છું, ફોટો મેં જ લીધા છે. તમે જોઈ શકો છો પ્લમ્બર એરેટર બદલે છે. સેકન્ડ ફિગરની અંદર જે સાદું એરેટર છે અને ત્રીજી ફિગર છે એ આ એરેટર લાગ્યા પછીની ફિગર છે. યુ કેન સી ધ ડિફરન્સ ઓફ ધ ફ્લો. આ બધા જ એરેટર અમારા છે એ સ્પ્રે ટાઈપ એરેટર છે. તમને આખું સ્પ્રે દેખાશે અંદર કેવી રીતનું છે.
સર, we have 1 minute more now.
સો હું થોડું ક્વિકલી જઉં છું. હાઈરાઇઝ બિલ્ડિંગની અંદર તમને આનો બેનિફિટ બહુ વધારે મળે છે. અમારા ઘણા બધા પ્રોજેક્ટ્સ અમે કરેલા છે અમદાવાદની અંદર. એક સેપ્ટ યુનિવર્સિટીનો કેસ સ્ટડી અહીંયા મેં બતાડેલો છે. યુ કેન સી ધ નંબર્સ. 2.3 મિલિયન લીટર ઓફ વોટર વી કેન સેવ ઇન 1 year. સો ધીસ ઇઝ ધ અચીવમેન્ટ ઓફ ધીસ સિમ્પલી એરેટર. એક નાનકડું રમકડું છે, એનાથી આપણે આ કરી શકીએ છીએ. આ એક આ ફિગર્સ છે જે 640 લીટર ને 350 લીટર સિમ્પલી. Another case study is also there wherein we are showing you the energy conservations. So એનર્જી પણ કેટલી બચે છે પાણી બચાવવાથી. ભારત ટેપનું ઇનિશિયેટિવ હમણાં જ રિસન્ટલી લેવાયું છે. ડૉક્ટર હરદીપસિંગે દિલ્હીની અંદર લોન્ચ કરી છે ભારત ટેપ. દેટ ઇઝ અગેન ઇટ ઇઝ અ લો ફ્લો ફ્લિક્સર. જે ગ્રીન બિલ્ડિંગમાં બધી વાતો થઈ લો ફ્લો ફ્લિક્સરની. અમારા પણ વોટર એફિશિયન્ટ પ્લમ્બિંગ પ્રોડક્ટના સ્ટાન્ડર્ડ છે સ્ટાર 1, સ્ટાર 2 અને 3 સ્ટાર. ઓનલાઈન અવેલેબલ છે બધા. નવું ઇનોવેશન આવ્યું છે ફૂટ ઓપરેટેડ ટેપ. તો ફૂટ ઓપરેટેડ ટેપમાં પણ ઘણું બધું વોટર સેવિંગ થાય છે. વોશ બેઝિનમાં તમે નળ ખોલો પછી સાબુ લો ત્યાં સુધી પાણી ચાલુ જ રહેતું હોય. જો એ ફૂટ ઓપરેટેડમાં યુ કેન સેવ દેટ વોટર. આ એક નવું યુનિક કન્સેપ્ટ છે વોશ બેઝિન અને WCનો. જે વોશ બેઝિન હોય છે એને ફ્લશ ટેન્ક, જે આપણી ફ્લશ કન્સીલ્ડ સિસ્ટમ કો ફ્લશિંગ સિસ્ટમ કો એની સાથે ક્લબ કરવામાં આવે છે. અને વોશ બેઝિનમાં હાથ ધુઓ તો એ બધું સિસ્ટમમાં પાણી જાય અને આપણે પાણી બચાવી શકીએ છીએ. ધીઝ આર IoT બેઝડ લેટેસ્ટ ઇનોવેશન છે, જેનાથી ઘણું બધું પાણી બચી શકે છે. વોટર મીટરને વાઈફાઈ સાથે કનેક્ટ, સેન્સર બેઝ સાથે કનેક્ટ કરીને યુ કેન કંટ્રોલ યોર મોનિટરિંગ સિસ્ટમ. યુ કેન કંટ્રોલ યુ કેન મોનિટર યોર વોટર ક્વોલિટી ઓલ્સો. અને એક વેક્યુમ ડ્રેનેજ સિસ્ટમ કદાચ સાંભળ્યું હોય તો 4-5 મહિના પહેલાં આપણા ઇન્ડિયામાં આગ્રામાં મ્યુનિસિપલ સેક્ટર લેવલ પર પહેલી વેક્યુમ ડ્રેનેજ સિસ્ટમ આગ્રામાં થઈ રહી છે 100 કરોડના ખર્ચે. સો ઇમ્પ્લિમેન્ટિંગ વેરી સૂન. દેટ ઇઝ અ સ્માર્ટ સિટી ઇનિશિયેટિવ બાય ગવર્મેન્ટ ઓફ ઇન્ડિયા. These are all IoT based projects. This is a water recycling. ગ્રે વોટર અને વેસ્ટ વોટરને આપણે રિસાયકલ કરી અને પછી ફ્લશિંગ ટોયલેટમાં યુઝ કરી શકીએ છીએ, ઇરિગેશનમાં યુઝ કરી શકીએ છીએ. રેન વોટર હાર્વેસ્ટિંગ. સી આપણા અમદાવાદની અંદર આખો એરિયા બધો રોડનો ROWનો પેવડ હોય છે, તો ઉપરનો ફોટો એકચ્યુઅલ છે, ખરેખર નીચેવાળું હોવું જોઈએ. નાઉ ધીસ ઇઝ સમ ઇન્ટરેસ્ટિંગ થિંગ. જેમ આ ઈસરેવાળાએ હીટ આઇલેન્ડ ઇફેક્ટ બતાવી, એમાં આપણે પેવડ એરિયા અને અનપેવડ એરિયા અહીં આગળ બતાવ્યા છે. તો તમે ઉપરના સ્કેચમાં ડાબી બાજુ જોશો તો અનપેવડ એરિયા છે, જમીનવાળો ભાગ છે જે, અને જમણી બાજુ જોશો તો તમે પેવડ એરિયા છે.
સર, વી આર વેરી શોર્ટ ઓફ ટાઈમ, પ્લીઝ.
2 જ મિનિટ લઈશ, બહુ નહીં લઉં. સો લેફ્ટ હેન્ડ સાઈડ અને રાઈટ હેન્ડ સાઈડને તમે કમ્પેર કરશો તો તમને ખ્યાલ આવી જશે રન ઓફ ક્યાં થઈ રહ્યો છે વધારે, રન ઓફ ક્યાં ઓછો થઈ રહ્યો છે, ઇવોપો ટ્રાન્સપિરેશન ક્યાં વધારે થઈ રહ્યું છે, ક્યાં ઓછું થઈ રહ્યું છે. નીચેના ફોટા એટલે જ બતાવ્યા છે. ધીઝ આર ઓલ રૂફટોપ રેન વોટર હાર્વેસ્ટિંગ. છેલ્લા પિક્ચરમાં ચોકડી મારી છે, એ પ્રેક્ટિસ ના કરવી જોઈએ. યુ કેપ્ચર ધેટ વોટર ઇમિડિયેટલી ધેર, ત્યાંથી જ આપણે એને પાણી ઉપર ધાબામાંથી આવે તો લઈ લેવું જોઈએ. આપણે પુશ કરીએ છીએ કોર્પોરેશનમાં પાણી, મારા પ્લોટમાં પાણી ના ભરાવવું જોઈએ. ધીઝ આર ઓલ સમ ફોટોગ્રાફ્સ એકચ્યુઅલ રેન વોટર હાર્વેસ્ટિંગના છે. બોરવેલમાંથી આપણે પાણી કાઢીએ છીએ તો આપણે બોરવેલને કંઈક આપવું પડે, રિટર્ન ગિફ્ટ આપણે આપીએ છીએ બર્થડેમાં. સો ગીવ વોટર ટુ મધર અર્થ. સિસ્ટમેટિક ઇન્વેસ્ટમેન્ટ પ્લાન છે. એ જ રીતે ધીસ ઇઝ ધ કન્સેપ્ટ, સિસ્ટમેટિક વોટર કન્ઝર્વેશન પ્લાન. તમે જો લીકેજ બચાવશો, વોટર એરેટર લગાવશો અને રેન વોટર હાર્વેસ્ટિંગ કરશો તો ડેફિનેટલી 150 લીટર પાણી બચશે પર માથા દીઠ, પર કેપિટા પર ડે. એનર્જી કન્વર્ઝનની હું બહુ વાત નથી કરતો. ધીઝ આર સમ ઇનોવેશન્સ ફોર ધ એનર્જી કન્ઝર્વેશન. સોલર વોટર સિસ્ટમ છે, હીટ પંપ છે. ધીઝ આર ઓલ યુટિલાઇઝ ફોર ધ હોટ વોટર જનરેશન. કેસ સ્ટડી છે અંદર. આઈ એમ સ્કીપિંગ ધીસ બીકોઝ ડ્યુ ટુ ધ લિમિટેશન ઓફ ટાઈમ. હવે એક જ મિનિટ ઇન્ડિયન પ્લમ્બિંગ એસોસિએશનની વાત કરી લો કે અમારું એસોસિએશન 24 ચેપ્ટર ધરાવે છે ઓલ ઓવર ઇન્ડિયામાં. 5500થી વધારે અમારા મેમ્બર્સ છે. વી આર પ્રમોટિંગ પ્લમ્બિંગ પ્રેક્ટિસીસ. અમારી આ એક ખાસ ગુજરાતી ચોપડી છે પ્લમ્બરો માટે, એન્જિનિયરો માટે, સાઇટ પર જે લોકો કામ કરે છે, આર્કિટેક્ટ્સ જે લોકો છે, ઇન્ટિરિયર ડિઝાઇનર્સ જે લોકો છે, પીએમસી કરતા હોય, સાઇટ સુપરવાઇઝન કરતા હોય, આઈટીઆઈ ડ્રાફ્ટ્સમેન હોય, આઈટીઆઈ થયેલા હોય, જે લોકો પ્લમ્બિંગ ક્ષેત્ર સાથે અથવા બિલ્ડિંગ ઇન્ડસ્ટ્રી સાથે જોડાયેલા હોય, તો ધીસ ઇઝ અવર બુક. ગુજરાતીમાં જે બહુ જ સરસ કલરફુલ પિક્ચોરિયલ બધું અંદર દોરેલું છે. યુ કેન હેવ એ લુક. બરાબર છે. આ ચોપડી ગુજરાતી છે. સેકન્ડલી, એસોસિએશન દર મહિને ઇંગ્લિશમાં મેગેઝિન બહાર પાડે છે. ટેકનિકલ મેગેઝિન છે. તમને પ્રોડક્ટની અંદર જાણકારી મળશે, કોડ વિશે અંદર માહિતી મળશે, બધું જ અંદર તમને અવેલેબલ છે. બીજી ઘણી બધી અમારી એક્ટિવિટીઝ છે. હું બહુ જ ક્લિપ કરું છું એક જ મિનિટમાં. સ્ટુડન્ટ ચેપ્ટર છે અમારા, ઘણા બધા સ્ટુડન્ટ ચેપ્ટર છે અને અમે સેપ્ટ યુનિવર્સિટીમાં પણ સ્ટુડન્ટ ચેપ્ટર ચલાવીએ છીએ. સો રિસેન્ટલી ગયા મંગળવારે ક્વિઝ કોમ્પિટિશન યોજાઈ. મેમ્બરશિપ સ્ટ્રેન્થ મેં વાત કરી, 5500+ જુદી જુદી કેટેગરીમાં અમારા મેમ્બર્સ છે ઓલ ઓવર ઇન્ડિયા. પબ્લિકેશનની વાત થઈ ગઈ. આઈપીએ ન્યૂઝલેટર આવે છે દર મહિને. કોડ્સ અને સ્ટાન્ડર્ડ અમારા પણ છે. આઈએફમોની વેબસાઇટ પર તમને ઓનલાઈન જોવા મળશે. દરેક કોડ બધા ફ્રી તમને ઓનલાઈન જોવા મળશે. સ્ટુડન્ટ્સને ખાસ કહી રાખું, આઈએફમો ઇન્ડિયાની વેબસાઇટ સર્ચ કરજો, ગૂગલમાં જઈને બધું મળી જશે તમને. અમે પ્લમ્બિંગ કોન્ફરન્સ પણ કરીએ છીએ ટેકનિકલી ફોર ધ અવેરનેસ, લેટેસ્ટ અપડેશન ઇન ધ ઇન્ડસ્ટ્રી. આ એક અમારો યુનિક પ્રોગ્રામ છે. દર શનિવારે અમે અહીંયા આઈપીપીએલનો પ્રોગ્રામ એએમએમાં જ કરીએ છીએ. તો આ શનિવારે પણ અમારું સેશન છે જ. ક્વિઝ બેઝ પ્લમ્બિંગ એજ્યુકેશનનો અમારો પ્રોગ્રામ હોય છે. ટોપિક્સ ને બધું બતાડેલું છે. વર્લ્ડ પ્લમ્બિંગ ડે ખાસ કરીને બધાને કહી દઉં કે 11મી માર્ચ આખા વિશ્વમાં વર્લ્ડ પ્લમ્બિંગ ડે તરીકે ઉજવાય છે. તો આ એની પણ અમે અવેરનેસની બધી એક્ટિવિટીઓ કરતા આવીએ છીએ. પ્લમ્બેક્સ યોજીએ છીએ એક્ઝિબિશન પ્લમ્બિંગ ઇન્ડસ્ટ્રી માટેનું, બિલ્ડિંગ ઇન્ડસ્ટ્રી માટેનું. Some of MOUs we have done with a lot of other organizations. I Save Water અમારું જે કેમ્પેઇન છે મેં એની વાત કરી દીધી ઓલરેડી. અમારી પ્લમ્બિંગની લેબોરેટરી છે, યુટ્યુબ પર તમે વિડીયો જોઈ શકો છો. આઈપીએનો કોલેજ ઓફ એન્જિનિયરિંગ પૂના ખાતે છે પ્લમ્બિંગની લેબોરેટરી. પહેલી ઇન્ડિયાની અંદરની પહેલી લેબોરેટરી છે.
Sir, we have to give the hall to AMA by 8:30 and we are running off time, sir.
પતી જ ગયું છે મેડમ. આ અમારી કોન્ટેક્ટ ડિટેલ્સ છે. અને ખાસ 2 સ્લાઇડ છે, એક જ મિનિટ લાગશે, અડધી મિનિટે નહીં લાગે. સેવ વોટર, નોટ ડુઈંગ, સ્ટાર્ટ નાવ. જો પાણી ના બચાવતા હો તો આજથી ચાલુ કરી દેજો. પાણીને માન આપો, રિસ્પેક્ટ ટુ વોટર. અને એક રિમાઇન્ડર છે, ડોન્ટ ફોરગેટ ટુ સેવ વોટર. થેન્ક યુ સો મચ.
Thank you, Harshilbhai. Now I request Mr. Shwetal Shah to give a vote of thanks for this program. Mr. Shwetal Shah is a technical advisor of Climate Change Department and working for climate change purpose for 24/7. He is very hard working. So, Shwetal Bhai, please.
Thank you all. So thanks is due to all our collaborators, and today's event within this Panchamrut Mahotsav was a special event because we have collaborated with IGBC, Ashocam, Credai, Mahila Housing Seva Trust, ISHRE, and Indian Plumbing Association, and all of these organizations are really working very hard for the conservation of natural resources in building sector, and we always cherish our association with all of them. And thank you all the speakers who have taken time. Thank you audience, and thank you friends for sparing your valuable time, and we'll keep this dialogue continued. And we really want that whatever new development happens, whatever new construction happens is happen with all in a very more responsible way towards the environment and the natural resources. And thank you all, and all of you are requested to join for the dinner. Dinner is arranged just outside. Thank you very much.